here to let the kids play. Not good. They still have them. We move around because.
Do you have anything to wipe the seat with in there?
I don't. You have a lot of them to do.
Yeah. You just got to soak it up.
Yeah, you want my glove?
Hello?
No, but
I have another one.
Hello?
I don't think I can reach out that far.
What do you, I got a blanket in there. You might need an umbrella. I got one.
This is all night long. I'd go right there. They're going to have a sophomore at the end. He's their best one of their best defensive players. I'm going to go right there all night long. What's that? No, he's out. He's the one with the broken foot. That's what I'm saying. They got a sophomore in his plays that didn't practice all. The kid broke his foot last night. I'm going to pound at that kid until he proves he's a stud.
It's too bad you can't take your best offensive lineman on Colby and move him to that side and work on it.
Well, it is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, really, these two are. There's not a lot of difference.
I'd go over him in the locker room and say, you dominate him tonight like nobody's business. You
Yeah.
his ass. When he gets up, you knock his ass down again. You just keep knocking him.
And you just keep doing it till these two start cheating, and then you get your counters. You play some old school maybe tonight.
thunderstorm watch. The storm stretch actually keeps the middle out towards the winter. There was torrential rainfall and high winds. Travelers between mile marker 65 and 112 on I-70 and mile marker 65 and 112 on I-70. There has been quite strong winds getting to the high coast. Now to the storm to Colby and West Oil and it's not coming to the west here in Rollins County in Kansas. We have on there even a Gulf now. Storm is located 8 miles west of Danbury, close to miles north of Oakland, moving northeast 5 miles per hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts inside our radar indicates this storm does tail damage overflow. Wind ends from subsiding and freeze. If you're in the location to turn it, either spot and greater. Take precautions now. You're the direct path to sun thunderstorm. We'll keep you updated right on Center Field. Reminder, you time with the Rita. Apologize for our interruption of Eagles pregame. Now to the pregame show. 38 Central Time now. 10.3 to rise with your severe thunderstorm. Your severe weather sponsor of David Brown, Market Financial Services and Roof Masters. We will be one on your side with severe weather try. All right, up next we have Off to Work and we'll be coming up on another game section soon of Sample to Rise.
Hey, Clay, are you there, Clay? Hello, guys, are you there? Okay, just checking in. Well, it is what it is. We'll see when we get close. We might move some breaks or something. We can always add a break to the first half. With with severe weather, is Clay on duty? He's going to be there the whole time? Okay, let me talk to him for a second. Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, what I'd like to have him do as far as in-game is text me when there's something new, and then I can, no, I mean I'll let him do it, but if he texts me and say, hey, I got an update, then I'll find a spot to get it in. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you. It's saying occasional thunderstorms, 80% chance starting at 7:15. How are we looking at? What are we looking at on time, guys? How are we looking on time? Okay.
Bring your attention tonight to the flight of Down syndrome.
Well, yeah, but it's not here yet.
Stickers on your helmet.
But I don't think it doesn't look like there's any light. It looks like it's just going to rain. So.
Down syndrome is the most commonly occurring chromosomal condition.
Yeah, we need to be ready to have it. So let's take a minute of those breaks and just build another break into the first half, and I'll make sure we get 4 in.
Syndrome lead healthy lives, but some are at a greater risk for other.
I'm going to take this chair out of the way for now.
Syndrome usually presents with cognitive and developmental defects of varying degrees. However, Down syndrome is.
All right, Coach, I'm turning your mic on. Check, test, check. Test. Good. Test 1, 2. You good on level? You hear all right? Yeah. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, latte, do. Hey, don't ever do that again. Okay. Always a first and a last. I have a hard time seeing that corner.
Diablo here. What you doing, Diablo?
Yep. I mean, the storms are right there. I mean, they're just about here. kind of interesting. Reuter was in the locker room until that last second. I came out way after everybody else. Reuter did. Wouldn't that be bad if he jumped up there and fell down and got hurt, messed his knee up or something? We had a kid get hurt doing that run through the line when I was in high school. Missed the game. Got caught up with some kids and rolled his ankle. Petrie's banged up too. Oh, is he? He's going to play, but he's. The radio guy said he's beat up too.
Colby won the toss. Election receipt. Kickoff defend the west goal.
Yeah, I need to take it out of this. Yep. Nope. Move into the pregame. Or to the game. All right, thanks. Yeah, just give me the rejoiner if you can, and we'll go from there.
Our best receiver.
Who's deep? I got just Stapp here on this side and Rosales. Okay, I couldn't see the numbers. No, get it to me. After this commercial. Don't let another one play. No rejoin, just give it to me.
So you has the ball teed up for the Blue Jays. Results and Stapp beat 4-8.
All right, good evening. Welcome to Norton, Kansas. Chad Jones alongside Jeff Quinzer, ready for high school football tonight here on 100.3 The Ride as Norton will kick things off to start the game. Calvin Stapp will take the kick at the 20-yard line and forced out of bounds at about the 26. Wet field here in Norton, Kansas. We've had sprinkles on and off. The rain looks like it's just about to get here. We're going to have that throughout the evening tonight on and off. But the good news is we're not expecting anything severe, so you play in the rain in football. Bad news for Colby and I will be without Jordan Shippers, our leading player on the season. He is out with injury this evening, will not be in the lineup. Tucker Branham also out of the lineup tonight with injury, as is Metcalf. So the Eagles very short-handed this evening. Stapp will get the start in Shippers' place in the backfield, and he will get the first carry of the ball game up the middle for Colby. A nice little move as he gets across the 30 and out to the 31, a gain of 5 on first down.
Colby just starting off the game with a quick dive right off the right side of that offensive line, following Sean Rawl and Xavier Slavin there. Nice down block there by the slot back Carter Stanley. Picked up about 5 on the play.
We'll see Basco in the backfield and Carter Stanley along with Stapp tonight. Eagles will get set with 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Hart gets the snap, fakes a handoff, quick screen on the outside. This is caught by Calvin Stapp. Stapp gets away from the first defender with a nice stiff arm and picks up a gain of about 6 and an Eagle first down across the 35 to the 36.
Colby just ran a little play action pass and slipped Stapp out into the flat on the left side, and Hart did a nice job of getting the ball out there, and Stapp was one-on-one with Petrie, and Petrie was able to trip him up, but not until Stapp was able to pick up enough yardage for the first down.
Eagles with Stanley behind Hart out of the pistol. 2 receivers left. Double wing formation. The pitch goes to Stanley. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Does a good job of getting that hand down and picking up a couple extra yards. Gain of 2 on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 8. Coach, we're talking about the rain hasn't really hit here yet, but it's hit throughout the week, and this field is a little soggy. And in the right, we saw players slipping around a lot during pregame warm-ups.
It doesn't take much for that ball to get a little wet, and like you said, the footing and everything, and it's kind of interesting. Colby came out and ran an option to the right side and picked up about 3 on the play.
Stapp with in motion for Colby, 2 receivers to each side. Hart to pass on 2nd down. Has time, looks, throws. He had Rosales open on the sideline, and that one well over his head. There's a pretty good crowd on this field.
Yeah, there is, and it's one of those things where I'm sure Hart's going to need to take a little bit of time to get adjusted to throwing a wet ball. It looked like it just slipped out of his hands a little bit quicker than what he thought, and threw it over the top of the head of Rosales.
Rosales and Stanley to the right side. Stapp also lining up to the right. 1 receiver to the left for Colby. Stapp will go in motion across the formation, so we'll end up with twins to each side. Hart to pass, looks to a same play out of the same formation. This time the catch is made. Rosales with a nice move after the catch. Stays on his feet. He's all the way across the 40 and down to the 35 of the Norton Blue Jays. That's a 26-yard gain on the play and an Eagle first down.
Colby just lined up in a trips right formation. The inside 2 receivers drug across the middle. Rosales ran about a 10-yard square in, and Hart was able to throw a nice ball. And the thing that made the play there was as soon as Rosales made the catch, he was able to make that first defender missed and picked up a nice chunk of yardage after he caught it.
I like it. He ran the exact same play. It was open the time before. He just missed the throw. So right back to it. Here's a fake handoff to Stapp. Hart around the right side on the read option play, and he gets it to the 30-yard line. Again, a little over 5 yards on first down.
Nice job there of Stapp carrying out the play fake. Ball action was going to the left, and Hart was able to pull it, like you said, on the read play, and was able to pick up about 6 yards off the right side of the Colby offensive line.
Hart did a really good job running that read option last week and was our leading rusher in the game. Eagles with 2 receivers to each side of the field. Hart out of the pistol, gets the snap, turns, hands it off on a little counter play, and not a bad gain. Got hit at the line of scrimmage, but Stanley able to finish forward for positive yardage, giving 3 on the play. It brings up 3rd and short for the Eagles.
And that's one of those things where Colby's just running a little trap back this way, and normally it's Branham that's leading that play and trapping or kicking out on that defensive lineman. This time it was Stapp coming across there, and Carter did a nice job of getting in behind that and picking up a few yards.
Baskell is the tailback now for Colby. Stanley in the slot to the right. Stapp in the slot to the left. 1 receiver to each side of the field. Hart on 3rd and short gets the snap. Going to keep it himself up the middle. Good rush by the Norton Blue Jays, and Hart hit at the line of scrimmage and stopped for no gain on the play, and they lost a yard. We'll bring up 4th and short here. 4th and, boy, with forward progress, this is not a very good spot at all. He got almost back to the line of scrimmage and ended up getting him about 2-yard loss on the play. That's a terrible spot, but it's going to bring up 4th and 3.
Colby tried to run a quarterback draw there, and the front 5 of Colby let the defensive lineman of Norton through and was able to drop Hart for a 2-yard loss.
Mason Wright lined up wide to the left side for Colby. 2 receivers to the right. Hart to pass on 4th down. Looks, throws, and it is. There should be a flag on this. There it is. Late flag on that one. The receiver hit. Colby made the catch. Stapp did, but he was hit well before the ball got there. Still did a good job of pulling it in, and the penalty flag is down. That'll be a definite pass interference against the Blue Jays.
Nice job of concentration there by Stapp. Just from the slot position on the left side, ran the flat route. Hart did a nice job of getting the ball up in the air. Stapp did a nice job of going up and getting it. But like you said, the Norton defender made contact before the ball got to Stapp, and Colby's going to end up picking up a first down off this penalty defensive mistake on Norton.
Yeah, Petrie got there just a little bit too early from his safety position.
And, we talked about penalties, and, part of this might be the advantage that Colby can have is to take advantage of the penalties that Norton commits and
goes both ways.
Move the ball down the field and take advantage of this opportunity where the ball is spotted on about the 15-yard line.
Yep, just across the 15 after the penalty, so first down and 10 to go from there. Eagles with 2 to the left and 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield. Stapp in motion across the formation. Check that, Stanley in motion across the formation. Hart to pass, has time, looks, throws, and completes it down near the 5-yard line. The catch is made and being drug out of bounds after an 11-yard gain on the play is Stapp. on the reception, and the Eagles have first and goal.
They just lined up two guys on the left side, kind of in a tight slot position. Ran Stanley across the right, across the field to the wide side of the field, and then Hart was able to hit Stapp on about a 10, 12-yard out. Stapp did a nice job of coming back, catching the ball, picked up about 8 on the play.
Stapp is the leading receiver on the season for the Eagles. Colby going to go in a diamond formation here. Now they're going to get Stanley lined up wide to the right side. Two backs split behind Hart out of the pistol. Double tight end set. Handoff going to be to Stanley up the middle, and he is into the, oh no. They're going to mark him short. Right at the goal line. It'll bring up second and goal to go from inside the 1. Good run by Carter Stanley up the middle. Good blocking by the offensive line.
Nice surge from that offensive front 5 there. Stanley did a nice job of getting in behind those offensive linemen and picked up enough for first down.
Same formation for Colby. They'll have motion across the formation to the right side in basketball. Here's a handoff up the middle. The ball's loose. The ball is loose, and Norton has it. It just popped right out of the hands of the running back that time. Shot up into the air, and it was recovered by the Blue Jays at the goal line.
I think they were running a little trap play with Stapp there. And
same one they ran earlier.
The same one they ran earlier, and just wet ball, I'm sure, created a lot of that. But kind of like we talked about in pregame is, hanging on to that football.
Well, we're going to see the Norton offense and Jace Reuter for the first time tonight. Again, a very highly rated quarterback. Group that's been good on the season. They got some work ahead of them here starting from the goal line. We'll talk about the changes in starters here in just a minute as the run goes up the middle and it goes for nothing. The Eagles stop it right at the goal line. That might even have been a loss on first down. He didn't get anything. Good job up front by the Eagles. Let's talk quickly about that defense for the Colby tonight. Both of your middle linebackers will be out tonight. Of course, Jordan Shipper's out, so we got Blaze Verbis started in his place tonight. Aaron Baskell will start in place of Tucker Branham. And then at cornerback, Connor Griffin is in there for Bryson Metcalf, who's injured. So injury bug hitting both sides of the ball for Colby, and the defensive side might be the one that was the bigger question mark going in. Reuter under center, 2 backs behind him in an I formation. Handoff goes to the second back through, and maybe 2 on the play as Petrie on the carry.
Nice job, second play in a row. The Colby defensive line, standing up, taking a stand there, held him the first down, and then this last play held him for about a 2-yard gain. So Norton's looking at about a 3rd and 7 inside the 5-yard line.
Blue Jays will get to play in from the sideline. Caden Melvin running it in. We'll have one receiver wide to the left side, and Ryan Johnson. And Melvin will be split wide to the right side. Tight end is to the right as well. High formation. Reuter rolling to his right, wanting to throw. Looks and has a man underneath there, but the throw is off the mark, incomplete. Good pressure by the Eagle defense. And Colby holds him on the first series tonight, 3 and out.
Nice job by Carter Stanley there, coming off the defensive left edge. I'm not sure if he's an outside linebacker or a defensive end, Colby's defensive front, but he put a lot of pressure on Reuter and was able to get his hand up, get a deflection, and knock the pass down because, like we said, Petrie was wide open on that play.
Carter, a very good athlete, but he's not one of the kids that normally starts both ways for Colby, so he's going to get a lot of time on defense tonight.
That's one of those things where a lot of these guys that are having to fill in for the injured players for Colby are going to pick up some valuable game experience, and hopefully it'll pay off later in the season.
Reuter to punt from the back of his end zone. Pressure coming. He just gets it away, and it is an end-over-end kick that's going to go out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. So pretty good field position for the Eagles to start this. And then, I'll tell you what, Jace Reuter kicks off, he punts. He's just an all-around quarterbacks in Kansas.
Yep.
He's a busy kid. But I tell you what, if you're Coach McKinney right now, I think you feel pretty good on this start tonight without the kids that you're missing. And you moved it down the field, did turn it over at the goal line, but
you put yourself in a situation that you could have scored, and then your defense came out and 3 and out, and now you're going to get this ball and have decent field position with the ball, on your 38-yard line.
And the kids, I think, take that as well and go, hey, okay, we're all right, let's go. Eagles waiting for the play here from the sideline. I think they're waiting to get the balls changed, and they're trying to make sure to keep the balls dry here tonight as the rain is starting to come down pretty heavy now here in Norton, Kansas. Double wing formation for Colby. Handoff's going to go up the middle. This is Carter Stanley on the carry. He stopped initially in the backfield, but then finds a hole to the left side with that second effort and picks up 4 yards.
Just running a little trap play back to the left side. Like you said, Norton, the right side of the Colby offensive line, the guard pulled, and that defensive lineman caused a little bit of penetration there, and Carter had to bounce it back to the outside, but was able to pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Second down for Colby. One receiver left, one to the right. Slot back to, or wing back to the right is Stapp. He's in motion across the formation. Hart gets the snap, hands it off up the middle. Nice initial move. We got penalty flags coming in here. Carter Stanley's got a gain of about 5, but again, a flag down on the play thrown by the back judge. That's probably holding. There it is. Yep, against the Eagles. So, and this is what we talked about last week. This is what killed us. We started moving the football, and then really got ourselves in trouble in the second half with some penalties. And hopefully, we see a little less of these tonight, because we're going to see a lot of running. I have a feeling here in the next little bit, because it is absolutely pouring right now in Norton, Kansas.
It's one of those things where they came back with the same play back to the right side. Nice run there by Carter, but it's going to be neglected because of the penalty holding on the Eagles. And that's one of those things where when the field conditions get like this, a lot of times you know, trying to come up with that extra little incentive or little edge, and sometimes you end up grabbing instead of just keeping your hands open.
Split backs behind Hart this time with one receiver to each side. Handoff goes up the middle. A nice run here by Stapp. Runs into his own man in Baskell, and that ends up being what tackles him, and he gets about 7 yards.
Nice little run there by Stapp. Just a little counter play there. And like you said, he was out in the open and was getting ready to cut it out next to the Norton sideline, and Baskell was coming in to block, and they ran into each other, but nice game there. Picked up a big chunk of those yardage off the penalty, brings up a third and about 7.
In Baskell's defense, he was trying to cut back and get the linebacker that was pursued. 2 receivers to each side. Hart gets the snap. Has time. Pumps. Now looks, throws, and it is caught. Or not. Now it's not going to be caught. Stapp with a diving effort there, but it skips into it. So that brings up 4th down. And if you're the Eagles, I mean, you're definitely in 4-down territory. Here's punt's not going to get you very many yards. So they will look over to Coach McKinney and get the play call. Field positioning in a game like this is going to be huge. 2 receivers to each side. 4th and 7 for Colby. Hart has time, throws, has a man deep down the field, and it is caught! Caught inside the 10-yard line and dragged down at about the 5. Huge play for the Eagles, and coming up with the reception that time. It's the new kid in there, Mason Wright. Again, he's seen a little bit of time at wide receiver tonight, getting his first start tonight as he was shuffling things around in the backfield. Mason Wright with a great catch there in the rain.
Nice ball thrown by Hart there, and Wright was well covered by the Norton defender, and he did a nice job of concentrating, going up and making the two-handed catch and hanging on to it and bringing it down for a big yardage.
2 receivers to each side for Colby. Wright in motion across the formation. Here's the handoff up the middle. This is Stapp on the carry. Breaking some tackles, driving forward. He's going to pick up some positive yards. He started at the 5, got her down to about the 3. Boy, I tell you what, they really have been pretty brutal with these forward progress spots. I mean, he had both feet inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4, and he was leaned forward, and they still spotted back at the 5.
Yeah. That's just a dive play there to Stapp, and
it's not where he ends, he gets progress. 2 receivers to each side, sorry. This time Baskell in motion from right to left. Hart gets the snap. Option play, pitches it over on the right side. Nice cut back by Stanley. Ball's over, a defender, he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Colby. Carter Stanley takes it in from 5 yards out.
And we won't say who he ran over, but it looked like it was number 12 for Norton, which happens to be Jace Reuter. So Carter did a nice job of running the option play. Nice cut back in. The Norton defender was over pursuing, and Carter did a nice job of cutting it back in, got in the end zone, and just happened to lower his shoulder and run over Reuter at the same time.
He drove him. That was a pretty good hit. I don't think Reuter's on the receiving end of many of those. Nice run by Stanley. Eagles are spreading the field here. Now we have a whistle and an official timeout. The Eagles have things all spread out here to do this.
I don't know if the play clock went off, or if that's the reason for,
or did they see lightning? I don't think so. They're not discussing that. It was a play clock situation. And oh boy, that'd be the worst at this point.
Hopefully they have a backup.
We'll take a 6-0. Let's go home.
Yeah.
All right. The Eagles get the snap. Hart on the option play will keep it himself, and he pounds his way forward. And I don't know if he got in. Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it.
No. Lost his hat on the play. But he did get into the end zone. So 6-0, Colby on top here with 3:44 to go in the first. We'll take a break, back with more of the Eagles on radio in just a minute. All right, so I have 4 breaks in the first half now. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. 1 down. That's it didn't affect anything. We got on literally at kickoff. It was perfect. It's like we planned it that way. It is just getting with it. It's getting with it. Have to get a break. They can pop it up in the light so they can see it. Zoom in. All right, the Eagles getting set to kick it away here, leading 6-0. 3:44 to go in the first quarter of play. And a line drive low kick that's going to bounce and roll and end up getting bobbled and then finally picked up at the 20. This is going to go. He has gone down the sideline. That is Ryan Johnson on the return. And he's going to take it all the way to the house, an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Just a little squib kick up the middle. It didn't go very far, but Colby kickoff coverage team outran the ball, and the ball carrier was able to pick a little short kick up and score for Norton.
It is absolutely pouring in Norton, Kansas right now. Tell you what, if you're not watching online, go to our website or just go to YouTube and search for Colby versus Norton. You'll find the game there as the Blue Jays getting set to kick an extra point here. It is Jay Mulder, that's the kicker. Kick is up, and it is no good. So 6-6 going to stay the score. But yeah, go to YouTube and search for Colby versus Norton. Find the video of this one, and we'll get up in the lights to try to help you see how this rain is coming down here tonight.
It kind of looks like some of the footage I saw there a couple of weeks ago with all the rain and stuff in Miami and Texas a month ago or so.
It's hurricane rains. You don't necessarily have the wind with it, fortunately. You don't have the lightning or that part with it, but it is absolutely pouring buckets here. In Norton, Kansas tonight. Is it going to happen? Really, the way this looked, it's going to happen on and off throughout the evening tonight.
And like we talked about coming to the game, a lot of games that were further east, they went ahead and either played them earlier in the day or postponed them until tomorrow or another date. So that's one of those things about football. You don't have very much opportunity to reschedule. It's basically got to be on Saturday or Monday because it's a short turnaround for the next week.
Sure. So yeah. And basically, really, a lot of the games east of Highway 25 were rescheduled today or played at 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, like you mentioned. In fact, the Oakley game, they were supposed to play TMP tonight, and that game had to be done because of weather. We were going to move that one, and that's actually going to be played in Oakley tomorrow now instead of in Hayes because the Hayes High or the Fort Hays State will be at home. Eagles on the kick return. It was kicked down to about the goal line, picked up there, and then returned out to the 20 by the Eagles and Calvin Stapp. So Colby will take over third possession of the game. They've moved the ball really well tonight. They got down to the goal line and fumbled on their first possession and didn't get in. Held Norton 3 and out, and took it down and scored on their next possession, and then Norton returned the kick for a touchdown, and that brings us to where we're at right now.
Calvin did a nice job of adjusting and backpedaling and catching the ball inside the 10-yard line on that particular kickoff and picked up some good yardage to start Colby out of the 25.
Eagles with 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Handoff's going to go on a little counterplay. The ball's loose again, but we get back on top of it this time. And going to gain maybe 3 yards on the carry. This is Carter Stanley on the carry. And again, this is one of those where it is absolutely pouring tonight. You've got to get both arms around that football.
Really got to concentrate on ball security, quarterback, running back. Got to really concentrate on the mesh point in which the handoff takes place. Right there, just running a little counter back to the right side, and Connor did a nice job of regaining possession on that ball.
The Eagles get to play this time. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Snap in the backfield behind Hart. Out of the pistol. Gets the snap, turns and hands it off. This is Snap on the carry, trying to get around the left side. He's drugged down for a short gain on the play by Christian Hawks, a freshman. Hawks getting the start today in place of Hayden Wiltfong, who broke his foot in practice last night. Hart, though, his dad, Hawks, I should say, his dad on the coaching staff here was on the coaching staff at Garden City Community College back when I was down there. He was one of the defensive coaches. Eagles set again, 1 receiver to each side of the field, split backs behind Hart out of the pistol. Handoff goes left side, and this is Carter Stanley bowling his way forward. And nice second effort by Stanley, able to pick up some positive yardage, but well short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down and about 3 for the Eagles here on this end of the field. Probably a punting situation. We'll see that unit come onto the field now.
Colby's just trying to run a wide sweep play with Stanley, and the defensive end and outside linebacker for Norton did a nice job of coming up and containing him for just a couple-yard gain there.
Xavier Slavens to punt it away for Colby. We started him at punter last week. Did a pretty good job with it. And this time the snap gets away from him. Xavier gets it, pumps it. It's blocked by Norton. Ball loose, and Slavens is going to pick it up inside the 10. So special teams, a killer here for Colby early on. That snap was low, and of course with that wet ball made it almost impossible to pull in by Slavens. And now Norton's going to start inside their own 10-yard line.
Xavier tried to do the next best thing, and that was run and punt it, but I think he didn't realize that the Norton defenders was as close to him as they were, and he got the punt blocked.
You know, they have 7-6 on the scoreboard, but that official underneath it,
he said it was no good on the PAT.
So we need to check on that. Should be 6-6. Snap to Reuter. Handoff's going to go. Nope, fake handoff on the left side. Reuter's going to take it in himself. And that's a 9-yard touchdown run for the Norton Blue Jays.
Norton just running a read option with Petrie going to the left side, and Reuter did a nice job of faking. Petrie carried out the fake, and defensive over pursued to the outside, and Reuter was able to run right up in the line of scrimmage for the score.
Well, the score's incorrect. It was 7. The extra point was no good on the initial one. It was indicated as no good by the officials, but they put 7 on the board, which should be 6. So right now it should be 12-6 as they get set for the extra point. This one is up, and that one looked like it's white. That one's good.
So it should be 13-6.
Yeah, it should be 13-6. We'll see if they change it. Maybe they just
put it 14-6.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. Back in 60 seconds with more of the Eagles on radio and Colby football on 100.3 The Ride. That first extra point was no good. They called it back and changed it? Oh. They said they changed it and called it back, so it's good.
I was surprised the guy that waved it off was the guy over there, and it looked like it was off to the left.
Yeah. I'm sorry, if you say it's incomplete, this is not the NFL. You don't get a replay. I'm just saying. If it's no good, it's no good. What's that? Yeah, but it's still coming down, though.
Not as bad, though. Not as heavy.
Jesus. Pretty good kicker.
Inside the 5.
The Eagles on the kickoff from Reuter. Stapp catches it basically at the goal line, returns it out to the 32. A nice return by Stapp, and really had one guy to beat. If he gets away from that last tackler, he's still running right now.
That's one thing about Stapp I've noticed. He does a nice job of once he catches the ball on the return game or even on the passing game, it doesn't take him but 3 or 4 steps, and he's full speed.
Now, it's still raining here in Norton, don't get me wrong, but it has let up quite a bit, fortunately, here in the last couple minutes. Eagles with the football, handoff up the middle, Stanley on the carry. And he's going to get forward for a couple of yards. They did, Talker, they said they changed that original extra point. Originally, he said no good, and then they have changed it to say it was good. So that was all confusion on that on the board.
So the score of 14-6 is correct.
It is correct. Eagles with the football will have bunch sets to each side of 2 receivers. One back in the backfield, and they're going to send Stanley in motion on a little jet sweep. They fake it. Hart keeps it himself, and good job by the Blue Jays. They were ready for that this time.
They faked the jet sweep to the left, and then Hart kept it and tried to just kind of a little naked keep, I think. And Norton's backside did a nice job of staying home and closed down on Hart. And Hart was lucky to pick up the yard on the play.
And Norton is taking a timeout here with 3rd down. And about 7 to go, 21 seconds to go in the quarter. Kind of an interesting timeout here by Coach Melvin.
You know, it's one of those things where we've got 2:14 or 21.4 seconds left here in the first quarter, and basically the first half of the first quarter, Colby had ideal field position. We played it on the Norton end, and now the last half or last 4 or 5 minutes of this quarter, Norton's had the field position, so I'm sure they're probably talking about hold them here, and we're going to be able to maintain that field position going into the second quarter.
Gives Colby a chance to huddle up and go over the play call here. Colby with Rosales and Stanley to the right side. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 back in the backfield. Hart gets the snap. Good blocking by the Eagles. Gets the pass off looking for Rosales, and it is incomplete. Good coverage by Cade Melvin on the play to knock that one out.
Colby's just running their double slots, and the Rosales ran about a 10-yard out. Stanley was running a slant to the inside. Stapp was running down the middle, and the backside receiver was Wright, who was running down the sideline as well.
So a punting situation. The last one did not go well for Colby. Snaps low again. Again, it gets away from the punter and Slavens, and this one's going to be picked up for a touchdown. And both of those are hopping when they get to Slavens. And then you got a lineman back there punting, and not necessarily the surest hands when you get a bad snap.
That's one of those things where when the ball hit Slavens' hands, I think he thought it bounced up because he looked up and the ball was still on the ground, and that 2 seconds or whatever it took there allowed the Norton defenders to surround him, and the ball was by him, and Norton recovered and was able to go ahead and advance it on in for the touchdown.
So the Blue Jays will get set to kick another extra point here. Up and good. And it's good initially this time, so we'll see if they change it, but I think it's going to stay. So the fumble isn't good. It's going to go as a fumble return for a touchdown.
And both those the punter's the guy that kind of looks bad on that, but both those snaps were way short in front of him bouncing, and with the field conditions the way they are, it's hard to handle that ball. And like you said, for a position player that doesn't handle the ball very much, it makes it even extra difficult. So
and here's the deal too: your normal deep snapper is Jordan Shippers. And so you got Aaron Kurth back there, but Kurth's been doing it on and off for the last several weeks. So it's not like it's the first time he's out doing it either tonight. But
that's one of those things where he needs to make the adjustment and be able to get that ball up in the air and get it back to the punter.
A quick change of events. All of a sudden, it's 21-6. Norton on top, and they've scored basically twice off of special teams. Well, they have scored twice in special teams, and really 3 of them have been a result of special teams. Eagles on the kick return about the 5-yard line. Stapp again through traffic. He's across the 30 out to the 35.
Another nice return there by Stapp, just running it right up the middle. Does a nice job of getting in behind his front wall there, his blockers and reading blocks. And like you said, he's just a matter of one or two guys missing, and he's down the middle of the field for a big score.
Again, the rain still coming down, but not as hard here in Norton. Just poured there for a while. The Eagles with one receiver wide to each side, and then they have the wings to each side as well. Handoff's going to go on trap play, and this is Stapp on the carry. And he's going to get positive yardage for maybe 1 or 2 on the play.
Just a little trap back to the left side, follow on Stanley as he went in motion from his slot on the right side, as well as follow on Corey Finley, the right guard there, picked up a couple yards on the play at the end of the first quarter.
We'll give him 3. 2nd and 7 when we start the second quarter after this word from our sponsors on 100.3 The Ride. Welcome as we come back to Eagles with the football on the option play to the right side. Good pitch by Hart. Gets it to Stanley, and Stanley with a nice run into Norton territory, gain of 20 as he takes it all the way down to the 46-yard line of the Blue Jays.
Nice little option play to the right. Hart did a nice job of attacking the end man on the line of scrimmage. Number 52 for Norton. Made him commit, made a nice pitch to Stanley. Stanley did a nice job of handling the pitch, considering the ball was so wet. Cut it in and picked up a nice bunch of yardage there on the play.
2 receivers to the right for Colby. Here's a fake handoff and a quick pass on the outside. Looking for penalty flag coming in here. A bad hit on Stapp at the end of the play, and this is going to be called on the Blue Jays. Tevin Petrie. Here's the deal. Yes, he can hit him there, had every right to hit him, but he had his head down, and his head went to the head of Stapp, and that is going to call a 15-yard penalty 100% of the time. 10 years ago, no, but with the modern rules and the concerns on safety, it is a penalty and really should be.
Now, is that one of those things? I'm not up to date on my high school rules. Have they changed anything as far as ejection or anything like that at the high school level?
No, they haven't really done that. They, it's based on...
Because if this was been a college game, Petrie would have been out.
Yeah, which I'm not necessarily on that because I don't think he had the intent of lowering and you know what I mean. He did. He hit him and he had his head down and he hit him in the head, so it is a penalty. But the intent there was not to do it. So just the way a cage just wanted to hit him hard,
right?
Which is what you're supposed to do.
That's why you got the shoulder blade. If he would have lowered his shoulder into the midsection and hit him, no flag. Okay, yeah,
no flag at all.
Yeah.
So we marked off the 15 yards and first down 10 to go for Colby. The Norton fans not happy with it, but it is.
And sometimes plays like that though, the crowd kind of with the ooh and ah from both sidelines kind of lets the official know that okay, what I'm going to do here, am I going to call something or let it go?
Yeah. And again, like you said, if he lowers the shoulder and drills him, perfectly legal play, but you led with the head, and that's going to get the flag. 15-yard penalty, Eagles 1st and 10. Handoff's going to go to Stapp up the middle. There's some miscommunication. That mesh point was a little bit messed up there for Colby.
I think it was one of those things where Hart had a hard time finding the handle on the snap and did a nice job of bringing it down and getting it into Stapp's pocket there to prevent the turnover and get back to the original line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 10 to go. One receiver to each side of the field for Colby. Basco left and Rosales to the right. Stanley in motion from left to right. Handoff going to go to Stapp up the middle. It's a fake. Hart keeps it himself, and he ran into trouble immediately. And with second effort, did a great job. Gets it basically back to the line of scrimmage.
Just a dive option with no option back there. Fake Stanley up the middle, and then tried to get outside, and the Norton defensive end did a nice job of closing it down and dropping Hart back at the original line of scrimmage to bring up a 3rd and 10.
Eagles had a lot of success with that play in the last few weeks. And that's one I guarantee you Norton looked at on film and said, this doesn't happen today.
Well, that's one of those things when you got a back there like Shippers who's a threat up the middle, you're going to collapse and give up the quarterback run.
The Eagles get the snap, and Hart was back to pass, but whistles fly here, or whistles get blown right before the snap, and it's going to be a timeout by Colby. We'll take it with him. It's 21-6 in favor of Norton. Back with more of the Eagles on radio in just a minute.
Targeting is what they
But he didn't lead with the crown.
Face mask. I mean,
that's targeting him. He can
it's one of those, it's not really as bad as it looks, but, but it is wrong. Yes. No.
then he's gone.
Yep, I figured. I was trying to make sure I got him in. I appreciate it, Clayton. Doing a good job. Thank you, sir.
Just hitting too high.
Yeah. If he would have just had his hat on one side or the other and led with the shoulder.
But
I mean, if you're...
his face mask is
Right.
Tell you what, this young kid's playing tonight now.
Yeah.
I watched him make a one-handed catch in pregame. That was big play on 3rd down coming out of the break, and Colby with a quick time out there. They come out, and Mason Wright makes his 2nd reception of the game and of the season. Both of them were pretty darn good, and both of them for first downs. And Mason Wright, the youngster, getting some time in there tonight, the sophomore, taking advantage of his opportunities. 1st and 10 to go for Colby inside the 20 at the 19 of Norton. Hart back to pass, throws, has a man out on the outside, and it's incomplete, intended for Stanley. We're still a little bit behind, and there was a late hit on the play. Late hit on the play, and no doubt again by Norton. Stanley's already down, and they hit him anyway. So that's going to be another first down for Colby, but
Stanley did a nice job of getting out in the flat, and the ball was just a little bit underthrown, and Stanley was trying to, come back and make the catch. And like you said, the ball was down, Stanley was down, the Norton defender came in and piled on top to draw the flag.
So it'll be a half the distance to the goal, but I do believe it's first down anyway. I mean,
that's one of those things where, we talked about earlier the first quarter, Norton, had a penalty down there on the other end, and Colby was able to get the ball down inside the 5-yard line and weren't able to capitalize it. Here's another opportunity for Colby to take advantage of some penalties on Norton, get the ball down inside the 10-yard line and get a first and goal and hopefully come away with a score here.
And actually, it's 1st and 1, because that doesn't carry an automatic first down. Or does it? It doesn't. They had to change.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
I think that's just where the yardage markers are at. I think it's 1st and goal on the 9.
All right. 2 receivers to the right. Stanley on the counter play takes it up the middle, and a penalty flag comes in on the play, thrown by the white hat, and that's going to be a hold 90% of the time. It's a legal procedure against him, which is good. That's at least 5 instead of 10 yards. But costly one for Colby here. Again, you're getting ready to pound one in. You're down by a couple of scores. And really, you got to look at this. We haven't played that bad in the game. I mean, defensively, we've been.
Well, you take, your special teams. Your special teams have led to the 21 points Norton's picked up. They had that kickoff return and then a punt blocked that was returned for a touchdown, and another punt blocked, short field for Norton. So 21 points on the board for Norton is due to poor specialty play by Colby.
They scored 21 points on one offensive play.
Yeah.
Actually, they scored a 9-yard touchdown run by Rudy on the first block punt, and then the other one returned for a touchdown, and the other one on the block punting for the touchdown. Handoff up the middle for Colby this time, and nothing doing on the carry there. Hit back at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down, and goal to go.
Looks like the ball is just inside the 14-yard line.
Second to go.
You got two backs split behind Hart with Stapp and Stanley in the backfield. One receiver to each side, double tights. This will be Stapp on the carry to the right side. Has some initial running room. And a good job by the Blue Jay defense of closing the hole down after the line of scrimmage there.
Just trying to run a power play there. Stapp following Stanley, kicking out the defensive end, and Hart did a nice job of carrying out his bootleg fake back to the left side. Looked like Stapp was able to pick up about 4 on the play, brings up about 3rd down and goal. Ball's on about the 10-yard line for Colby.
Back to really to where the line of scrimmage was prior to the penalty. Hart under center this time. Got a bunch formation to the right of the eye, and it's going to be a run right up the middle by Hart. We'll see how he gets on the play. I don't think it's goal. I don't think it was an automatic first down. The way we've had the chain set. So that might be enough for a first down. And the officials will measure. I guess it wasn't an automatic first. They would have had 1st and 1 initially. The way that worked out with the penalty on the half the distance, they had 1st and 1.
I thought that 15-yard penalty was half the distance, an automatic first down over there that Stanley picked up. In fact, I think the PA even said 2nd and goal there. Looks like we're going to be short, 4th and about inches.
Yep. So the chain gang, the officials, and the Colby coaching staff are obviously smarter than all of us, as they should be.
That's why we're up here and they're out there.
Exactly right. But I thought, by the way, they marked the chains because normally when it's goal, they'll lay the
yard marker
chains down.
I wouldn't be surprised here to see Hart come back under center and go for another quarterback sneak, but it looks like he's in the pistol formation again.
He'll send Baskell in motion across the formation. Hart gets the snap. Option play, pitches it to Stapp, cut back, has a lane, dives forward. He's got the first down, but short of the end zone. They'll spot it down at the 5. It'll be 1st and goal to go for Colby from there.
Nice job there by Hart by attacking that end man on the line of scrimmage, getting the pitch to Stapp. Stapp did a nice job of getting it in and then cut back inside and was able to get across down to the 5-yard line for the 1st and goal. Ball on the 5. Just as we get under the 8-minute mark here in the second quarter.
Eagles back to the line of scrimmage here. 1st and goal to go from the 5. Hart gets the snap, turns to hand it off, and the back is not there, and he's going to be sacked for a loss on the play. Great job that time by Colin Ocker.
Nice job there by the defensive end, Ocker, for Norton. I think that was a busted play in the backfield. I think the running back for Colby got by Hart before he was able to get reversed out and get him the ball. I think it was designed to be just a straight-ahead dive play, and Norton was able to take advantage of that. And I
think he went to the wrong side. Hart turned.
It wasn't off, and it was designed to go to the right side, but Colby lost 5 on the play.
Well, 1st and goal, or 2nd and goal to go from the 10 now. Hart to throw. Looking for Stapp out of the backfield. It's incomplete, but that was not a forward pass. So
I think they're not.
Are they incomplete now?
Well, they haven't said anything. I think they're going to discuss this.
Incomplete. There they go. It was a forward pass.
Stapp did the right thing, though. He wasn't sure, and so if you're not sure, you got to treat that as a live ball, and he did a nice job of covering it up.
And there was no whistle initially either, so you go back to playing to the whistle and making sure that thing's secured until you hear the tweet from the officials. 3rd down and goal to go for Colby from the 10-yard line. The play was open that last one, too. It was just a little bit high for Stapp to go up and get it. Rosales split to the right side. Slots to each side for Colby. One back in the backfield. Motion across the formation. The Eagles are going to turn. Hard to throw. Over the middle. Catch is made by Baskell on the left side, but not much. Only gets about a yard out of the play. It's going to bring up 4th and goal to go from about the 8-yard line.
He had Stapp open deep in the Norton corner of the end zone, but chose to throw to the flat there, and Baskell picked up a couple yards on the play.
Tell you what, I've been impressed with these youngsters, Baskell and
Mason Wright.
And these guys getting some time in there today, and Griffin defensively, he hasn't had too much time to run 4 offensive plays, but total in the game. Eagles here on 4th down and 9, but they've done well, the youngsters. Hart gets the snap, has a crossing pattern, looks, throws, and incomplete. The receiver stopped, it looked like, on that initially, and then tried to get going again, and that threw the timing of that off.
I think that defensive back for Norton kind of got up in his face, and he wasn't for sure what to do. He would have been better off just to run through the defender and probably would have picked up a pass interference. Hart did a nice job of leading him, though, to the end zone there, and Norton's able to stop on downs and take over on the 10-yard line.
So 1st and 10 to go for the Blue Jays. Their 3rd possession of the game. They've started on their own goal line and then the Colby 9-yard line on their 2 possessions. Reuter on the carry this time, takes it up the middle, and he's going to get about 3 yards on the play, 2nd down and 7.
Nice job there by Rawl to come from the backside defensive end position to close in on the play there, make the tackle on Reuter along with a few other Colby defenders.
I tell you what, you look at this defensive front for Colby that's been good on the season, and they're going to need a big game tonight.
Yeah, they are.
The linebacker who held behind him isn't necessarily there where we've seen it the rest of the year. So they're going to have to play well. Here's a handoff this time going to the left side, and good job by the defense to pick this one up. Rosales, the first man there for Colby, out at about the 20. It's going to be enough for a 1st down, though, it looks like, for the Blue Jays, and that's Tevin Petrie on the carry.
Norton tried to get outside with a wide sweep play with Petrie to the Norton sideline, and on the defensive side of the ball, Rosales did a nice job of coming up and maintaining containment, and Stanley and Rawl were able to squeeze it down and make the play there on Petrie to bring up a 3rd down and a long one.
Stopped him short. Reuter gets the snap. He's going to keep it himself this time on the left side. He has a hole. And blockers in front of him, and Reuter has gone down the sideline at the 30, the 20, the 10, and he is it. Touchdown, Jace Reuter. He goes 81 yards. That was his longest run of the season, and a touchdown for the Blue Jays.
Norton just ran a little quarterback counter where they pull the guard and lead the back up in the hole, and did a nice job of executing it, getting the down blocks on the Colby defensive lineman, getting the seal on the linebackers, kicking out on the cornerback, and Reuter was down the sideline.
And now the Blue Jays will get set for the extra point. It's the first time they've kicked one on this end zone. Snaps a little long, but the holder gets it down. Melvin does. The kick is up and good. So the score is 28-6 in favor of the Blue Jays. With 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the 2nd quarter of play. And if you're Colby, again, you're moving the ball offensively. You know, we've had a kick.
Just can't punch it in the end zone.
Punch it in. Twice tonight we've been inside the 10 and haven't got any points out of it.
And, you know, you take a look at your defense. Your defense is, you know, like you said, hasn't played very many possessions, but the possessions they've played other than this run here from Reuter have been pretty good possessions.
Well, you look at Norton, they ran 3 and out on their first drive. The second time they had the ball offensively, they had one play on 9 touchdown, and here they had 2. So they're up 28-6, and they ran 5 offensive plays. Yeah.
And, you know, basically six offensive plays. The 4 scores that Norton's had have been all off of big plays. So, you know, if Colby would have been able to eliminate the big plays, Colby would have the lead, and, you know, realistically they should be up by 3 scores, taking advantage of the opportunities they had. It is what it is, and we still got a lot of ball to play.
For sure. The kick is an angled one. Picked up at the 27-yard line, and a nice hit there on the Eagle up man. That was Thane Wilderman on the return for Colby. He's going to get it back to the 30, gain of about 3. And that's where Colby, they keep that one away from Stapp because he's looked scary on those first 2.
Thane did a nice job of running up and catching that short kick and hanging on to the ball, picked up 3 or 4 yards until he was hit and knocked out of bounds. Another one of the youngsters for the Colby Eagles.
The Eagles will get set to go here. 2 receivers to the left and a slot to the left, and Stanley. 1 receiver right. Stanley in motion to the right side now. Hart gets the snap. Looks, throws, and the catch is made. No. Stanley was uprooted by Melvin right when the ball got there. That was a tremendous play by Melvin. He hit Stanley right as the ball got there and hit him hard.
That's one of those things where Colby's been, attacking the flat routes with the backs coming out of the flat or the slot back going out to the flat, and the Norton corners are timing that up pretty good. And right there, Melvin did a nice job of timing that up, and Stanley had the ball, and Melvin hit it and broke the ball loose, and no gain, no completion.
Two receivers to each side of the field. Hart to pass again. Good protection all night. Has a man open underneath, and Stanley who makes the catch, dives forward for 8 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and short for Colby. You go back to that previous play too, Coach. And one thing with that throw to the flats, it's 1 yard down the field, but you're still throwing it 30 yards across the field. It takes a while for that ball to get there.
It does. And basically it came back with the same play, and Stanley was able to get open and did a nice job of catching the ball and tucked it and got upfield and was able to pick up about 8 yards, 9 yards on the play.
Yeah, I give him 9 on the play. 3rd and 1. Two receivers to each side, one back behind Hart out of the pistol. He'll send Baskel in motion from left to right. Gets the snap. Baskel comes back on a counter play, and it's blown up by the Blue Jays. The Eagles get a loss on the play.
And looks like there was a fumble on the play at the mesh point between Hart and Stapp. They were trying to run a trap play back to the left side, and I'm sure Hart got the ball, but I'm not sure if Stapp got it, and Norton was able to create the fumble and recover it on the Eagle about 35, 36-yard line.
You got kind of a light mist coming down now, not really the rain anymore, but the field is soaked.
The field is soaked, and uniforms, and everybody's wet out there that's playing. Even if they're on the sideline, they're wet. But and that ball is soaked too. So slippery ball security is going to be big the rest of the night.
And it's been huge in this game so far, and unfortunately not in Colby's favor. 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays. We just get the playoff in time. They'll fake the handoff. Reuter to pass for the second time tonight. And he completes it. He's tied in over the middle, and that's going to be a gain down to the 21-yard line of about 12 yards and a 1st down on the play.
Norton just run a little play-action pass, dragging the tight end across the middle, and Reuter threw a nice ball for the completion, and making the tackle there was Rosales from his backside cornerback position, followed that tight end across.
And we have a whistle and an official's timeout here. Again, they're having something on the field down there they still have the kicking team maybe down from the previous play.
Or was that a mouthpiece?
I don't think it was either because he tucked it in the front of his pants. So I hope it wasn't a mouthpiece. Now we have another whistle here. And the officials want to know. All right, we're ready to go. 1st and 10 of Blue Jays at the 22-yard line. Petrie on the carry, and he runs into the defensive front from Colby, who stuffs that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by Rawl and Britt and Kurth, I think, were there on the play for Colby. And listen, we've seen it against every team in the season. If you're going to run against the middle of us all night, you're going to have a long night.
Yep.
I mean, that group has been very solid all year long. That's the strength of his defense. And, I'm surprised that Norton hasn't picked more on the outside with some of the kids out for Colby tonight. Two receivers to the left, and it's just a read option. They'll hand it off, and again, not much on that defensive front, maybe a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8, and the rain starting again here in Norton.
Nice job there by Sean Wall, coming from his left defensive end position down the line of scrimmage to make the play there on Petrie.
We've got another little rain cell on top of us here, and it's going to rain for a little bit, but then it should clear up for a while tonight. So we'll see how it all pulls out. We'll keep an eye on radar. Two receivers to the right, one to the left, tied into the right side as well. Here's the snap. Reuter to pass as he fakes the handoff, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Again, intended for his tight end and Braden Vacara, who couldn't pull it in. Now, again, Vacara in there tonight for the injured Hayden Wiltfong, who was one of the leading receivers on the season, who broke his foot again yesterday in practice. So he's getting time in there tonight. Did make a good reception on the last play, or on the previous set of downs. 4th down and 8 for Norton.
Nice job there by Xavier Slavens, putting pressure from his defensive line position, putting the pressure on Reuter to get rid of that ball.
Two receivers to each side for Reuter on 4th and 8. Big play here for the Eagles. One back in the backfield. And movement up front. And that's going to be on the Eagles. Looked like Britt jumped a little early, although there was one other defensive lineman for Colby that moved too. Some of the times that's because you get some movement, but this is against the Eagles all the way.
It's not going to be enough for a first down. It's still going to be fourth and about a long 3, it looks like.
The good or bad news, however you look at it, is that was a mouthpiece as he pulled it out of the front of his pants and threw it to the sideline there during that break. The good news is he didn't put it back in his mouth. Fourth down, 2 to go here for the Blue Jays. 2 receivers, left, 1 right. Ruder's going to get the snap. Penalty flags here at the snap of the football, and this is procedure against Norton. So we'll give those 5 yards right back, and we'll go back to where we originally had fourth down. And I'm okay with that. So again, fourth down and 8 for the Blue Jays, and another big play here for Colby. Going to change the play call back probably to a pass play. Coach Melvin sending the play in there with Jonah Ruder, one of the wide receivers. We'll head into the game. 2 receivers to the left side and right for the Blue Jays. 1 back, and Petrie in the backfield with Ruder. And they got movement on their right tackle, jumped again. And that's on Christian Hawks. And so now it's 4th and 13. We're at 4th and 8, 4th and 2, and now 4th and 13.
Oh, we had the 4th and 8 again, remember?
That's right, 4th and 8, 4th and 2, 4th and 8, now 4th and 13. And eventually we'll have a 4th down play.
A completed 4th down play.
A completed 4th down play. 2 receivers to each side of the field. Same set here for Norton. I imagine they didn't change the play call much, if at all. Colby playing off a little bit with their backs as Ruder back to pass, and the pressure coming. Ruder running. You got to contain him. He slips and falls, and it's a sack for Colby. Tremendous play by the Eagles. They were back there immediately, but really credit this defensive backs as he had nowhere to throw the football.
Defensive backs did a nice job, and Wall and Britt were there to put the pressure on Ruder, and I think you give the tackle to those 2 guys, even though Ruder did slip a little bit. But if those 2 defenders weren't there, Ruder would have probably been around the side and picked up a big chunk of yardage. Nice defensive stop there by Colby.
2:17 to go in the half. Rain coming down pretty hard again here in Norton. Not as heavy as it was early, but hard. And the Eagles come out passing. Completed on the left side. Stapp makes the catch. Short gain on the play as he's drug out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Give him 3 yards. 2 minutes and counting. They did not get out. They're going to say down and bounds. So 2:05 to go and counting in this second quarter of play. Colby down 28-6.
Stapp just trying a flat route from his slot position on the left side and made a nice reception there. Picked up nice yardage.
2 receivers to each side. Hart looks, throws, and completes it. Nope, incomplete. Intended on the play for Carter Stanley. A little bit low on the throw, not bad, but again, a wet ball hard to pull in when you're catching it down there with your fingertips.
It's almost one of those things where it took the officials a little while to determine whether that was an incomplete pass or a lateral. Late whistle.
Mm-hmm. You know, you're supposed to you catch the ball with your hands. That's where you're supposed to catch the football. But you get wet games like this, and that body becomes a lot more useful.
Yeah, you use your hands as a guide to guide it in and stop it with the body.
Yeah. And so you get those low ones. That's what makes those so hard to catch, is when they're not right on your chest. The Eagles with Hart to pass on a screen, well set up, and he gets it to Stapp. Stapp with a nice move. He gets it across midfield and spins his way down to the 47-yard line. What a play by Stapp for Colby. That is a gain of 19 yards on the play. And an Eagle first down into Blue Jay territory, and a good job by Stapp keeping his composure as he was under fire when he had to throw that one.
That was a nice job by Hart. He sold the screen pass and was able to get deep enough and run away from the backside defensive end, putting heat on him. And Stapp made a nice catch and found his guard out there, Sean Wall, and was able to pick up some nice yardage.
Movement on the offensive line here for Colby. Hart going with that harder snap count, and the Eagles rocking in their stance there. So that's going to cost them 5 back into Eagle territory. Again, you're moving the football. you just can't have these. At this point in the season, you got to be disciplined on this. Two receivers left, 1 right. offset I formation out of the pistol. Hart throws right side. Stanley hadn't turned and looked yet, and that ball was already in the air because Hart was being pressured, and when Stanley turned, he had no time to make an adjustment on it.
Well, that's one of those things where I was really surprised to Hart throw the ball over there because Stanley was being double covered there, and he's lucky Norton didn't pick that pass off because it was underthrown into double coverage.
Part of it was because Stanley hadn't turned yet to look for the ball, so they weren't either. They were getting on him. 2 receivers to each side, 1 back behind Hart. 2nd and 15. Hart over the middle has a man in Stapp who comes back, and a good adjustment made by the defender there as that one knocked away at the last minute there by Ryan Johnson, and it comes up incomplete. Stapp was open. That ball was a little behind him, though, and that allowed the defender to make a play on it.
Nice defensive play there by Norton.
Ryan Johnson, the senior, on the coverage.
You know it's getting slick out there when they ran a little bit of play action. I think it was Stanley came up there, was the ball carrier for the play fake, and he was sliding around on the wet surface of the field.
3rd and 15, Hart looks those, and he's got the ball incomplete, intended for Rosales on the outside again. He was open, and it just slips right out of his fingertips. And now it's kind of a decision time here. You got the clock stopped at 1:06. You got 4th and 15, and you got Ruger on the other side, and I don't think it's a decision at all. You got to punt it and get it as deep as you can.
Or it's one of those things where the last 2 times you've tried to punt, you haven't had success. So do you go ahead and try to punt it again, or go ahead and run an offensive play? It looks like they're going to try to punt.
Snap is good. Gets through the fingertips of Slavens initially, and then he gets off a beautiful punt. Great punt. Angle on the right side, and that baby's going to be down inside the 5. Good job by Xavier Slavens. Hey, he can kick it if you get it to him.
That was a perfect snap. I'm not sure if they changed long snappers or the same one, but nice punt down inside the 10-yard line, and Stapp did a nice job of covering that punt as well.
And again, Norton going to have the football to start the second half as well, so they'll get a chance for back-to-back possessions. Eagles won the initial coin toss, and as they always do, they take the football. Colby's a team that does better when we start good and get momentum early, and so they like to try to.
And we did start well, and then had a lot of momentum on our side.
That at all. Really honest, you talk about things not going your way. It was Norton with the football. He goes to the left side, and the Eagles are going to stop for a loss here. Clear back inside the 5.
Nice job there by, it looks like, I think it's Slavens or Hamel. It's hard to tell between the 50 and the 60, but Norton tried to run the option play to the left side, and Ruger made the pitch to Petrie, and I believe it was Xavier Slavin that came up and made the play there on Petrie. Dropped him for about a 5-yard loss.
Scott City 14, Wellington 0. That game at the end of the opening quarter tonight. Wellington doing a long road trip up to Scott. Here's the snap. The fake handoff. Now Ruder does hand it off, and again it's going to go for a loss. Colby with 2 timeouts. They'll use one here with 10 seconds to go.
Ruder did a nice job of selling the fake, and what that does is that makes your defensive backs go ahead and play coverage on the receivers, because the receivers were running like it was a pass, and so that just takes 4 or 5 defenders out of the stopping the run game.
You know, this rain, we've talked about the field, it's slick, but looking at, you can see it from here, you can see the mud now in the middle of that football field, basically between the hash marks.
Well, you can see where a majority of the game has been played, you know, down here on the 30 east end between the 25 and the 40-yard line, and a little bit here on the other side between the 40 and 30, but I'm sure it'll be chewed up pretty bad here before the night's over with.
Yeah, the groundskeeper's going to be like, man.
I worked all summer to get this thing looking nice, and one night and it gets tore up, but that's what it's for, and I'm sure Norton's got a few more ball games to play out here, and hopefully it'll stay in good condition for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we'll look at their schedule coming up here in just a minute and upcoming games. We'll talk about Colby's schedule, too. We've seen the 2018 schedule. I got to look at it here today, and we'll talk about it in a bit, because, of course, things change greatly. 3rd down And 15 for the Blue Jays out of their own end zone. Reuter going to keep it himself on the right side, and he is stopped for a loss again. And another quick timeout with 5 seconds to go, and 4th down for the Blue Jays.
Another nice job by Xavier Slavens coming up from his defensive line position, and Norton just kind of running a little counter play with the quarterback, and Slavens did a nice job of closing down on him and making the play there for the loss on the play.
You know, you look at this, and it's 28-6, and you go, oh, man. But it's really not been a bad football game. You've had,
if nothing else, realistically, it should be 7-7 or 6-6 or something like that. But
I mean, unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
one of those things that, like we talked about before the game, was just taking care of the penalties and the turnovers, and then one thing we didn't talk about was the play of special team, how that is to play out, and that's basically the difference in the ball game is the poor special team play of Colby.
Well, Calvin Staff's going to have a shot here with 5 seconds to go, and I imagine Colby, with Reuter pointing out of the back of his own end zone with his feet on the back of the end zone, they're going to be bringing some pressure here. They run even a stunt out of it, and here's a booming kick by Reuter. Going to be bounced at the 50-yard line, and Stapp going to pick it up. And now taking it on the left side and drug down for a minimal gain, and that's going to be the end of the half.
Nice job there by Stapp. I think he touched it originally and then was able to pick it up and secure the ball and end the half here.
Well, it was a tough one to catch. I tell you, that was a booming kick by Grace Reuter. So the half comes to an end with a 28-6 score in favor of the Norton Blue Jays. We'll take a break, come back with the start of our halftime show. After a word from our sponsors, you're listening to the Eagles on Radio and Colby Football on 100.3 The Ride. Yep. All right, we'll run them. We'll run them. I appreciate it. Make sure you have it in audition so I can hear it too. All right, thank you. This is gonna be. It's about over. And then I think we're going to have probably an hour before it starts again.
Oh, we're going to get another round of it?
Yeah, there's another round down here.
But it's not yellow and red like that last one was.
Right.
Yet.
That's the rule when it comes across, you know.
Eagle fans, welcome to this evening's halftime performance featuring the North Community High School Marching Blue Jay Band under the direction of Mr. Don Watertown.
I like this commercial.
I've never seen a 15-yard penalty come that close to the first down.
Yeah.
That's all screwed up.
But it was half the distance to the goal. It's not an automatic first down.
But it had
Wanted to pour through the ride. Good evening. Welcome back to Norton, Kansas. Chad Jones alongside Jeff Quinter. Mike Downland on the camera tonight. The Eagles trailing the Norton Blue Jays 28-6 in an interesting first half of football. We'll talk about it in here in just a minute, but let's run through scoring in the first half of the ballgame. The Eagles got on the board first. In fact, the opening drive of the game, they took it all the way down. A nice, long, sustained drive. Got it to the 1 yard line and fumbled. And it was recovered by Norton. And Norton then went 3 and out on the ensuing possession. Had a short punt that the Eagles started to drive at about the 40-yard line. And again, Colby marched it down the field, capped it off on a 5-yard touchdown run by Carter Stanley. The Eagles went for 2 and came up just short, 6-0 to score. Then Norton got the kickoff on the ensuing kickoff, and they take that one 80 yards for a touchdown. So Ryan Johnson taking that one 80 yards, and that was the first of what really led to be 3 touchdowns set up by their special teams as Colby got the ball back and then had a turnover. Ran their series and then had to punt the football, and it gets away. The snap was low, got away from the punter Xavier Slavens, who really didn't have a chance to get the snap. Tried to pull it in, but Norton tackles Slavens after he falls on the football at the 9-yard line, and is taken in on the next play by Reuter.
We hope you enjoyed Party Rock Anthem.
Yeah, Reuter right up the middle on that play, takes it in from 9 yards out. So again, it's Norton run 4 offensive plays at that point in time, and they led the game 14-6 as they did get the extra point to go. Then, with 9 seconds to go in the first quarter, again, Colby back to punt. Snap is low, gets away from the punter. Norton scoops it up into the end zone on a fumble return for a touchdown on the punt. Yeah, they take it in, and Norton, again, 4 offensive plays at this point in time, and they lead the game by a score of 21-6 after they got the extra point. The Blue Jays then got the ball back after Colby had moved it pretty well in a couple of possessions, and then the Blue Jays get the ball back, and they score with 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second quarter of play. And again, it was the second play of the drive, and the Norton Blue Jays take it 81 yards on a run by Jace Reuter. Second touchdown of 80 yards or more in the first half on that one for the Blue Jays, and they led the game 28-6 after the extra point, and that's where we went to the half. But again, an interesting one. Special teams have been the story in this game so far, and the Eagles have got themselves in a little hole here to start the second half. And we'll come back and we'll talk about that after a word from our sponsors. You're listening to the Eagles on the radio and Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show on 100.3 The Ride. Look at see, it's getting yellow already. It's building.
Where's that at right there?
That's Norton here.
Where's that at?
That's Great Bend, Hayes. Yeah.
Colby Eagles fans, at this time we invite you to get on your feet as the band comes to your side of the field. Colby fight song Hail to the Varsity will be played by the ECHS band as they march across the field to form a block letter C to welcome you to Norton.
Oh. Scores.
Okay, Blue Jay fans, it's our turn. Please stand, clap, and sing along to our own school fight song on Norton as the band members of NCHS. Please join them at the completion of each letter. Your drum major will cue you with her fist.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show. The Eagles on radio on 100.3 Ride, joined by Jeff Quinzer. The halftime score, 28-6 tonight in favor of the Norton Blue Jays. And Coach, I mean, you kind of tell the story of the game when you go through the scoring summary tonight. And this is one of those as you know, Coach is going to go to the locker room and be like, we didn't do things bad, but we had 3 snaps that have been a killer in this game. 2 bad snaps and then that one kick. 4 plays that have really been the difference. You know, all of them have led to touchdowns for the Norton Blue Jays, and you know, a few of these were gifts, really.
Right. And you know, on the offensive side of the ball, other than a couple turnovers, the one that probably hurt the most was that one opening possession where Colby had it down outside the 1 yard line and wasn't able to kick it in or knock it in there. But offensively they played fairly well. They're doing a fairly good job running the ball, moving the ball, attacking the flats on the pass route. I'm impressed with some of these guys that have come in that haven't been playing a lot, and even some of the guys that have been seeing a lot of time have stepped up and are going above and beyond for sure. And defensively, doing a good job defensively, except for that one long run that Ruder was able to get by. And it boils down to the special teams. And that's basically, you clean that up, and we've got a really close ball game.
Well, that's what they say. There's 3 aspects to football. There's offense, defense, and special teams. And you lose any of them badly, and you lose a football game. And that's kind of been what's happened so far in this first half of the game tonight. A lot of football left in this one tonight. I think, we've looked at some things and seen some things offensively that we've done well in the first half of this game. Some things where we can make some adjustments, and there's plays to be made.
And we've got players out there that can make those big plays. I mean, you take Hart and Stapp, and take a look at Mason Wright. I mean, he's made 2 catches and for big plays.
And 2 really good catches.
2 really good catches and good balls thrown by Hart. And so, Colby, even though they're without some of their key players, they've got players out there that can make plays and move the ball and put points on the board. They've got a defense that can shut Norton out this second half, but it's going to boil down to, okay, are they going to shore some things up on the offensive side? Because Colby's going to end up having to punt at least 2 or 3 more times. They're probably going to hopefully kick off. Well, they're going to start the second half with a kickoff, and so hopefully they're able to shore some things up on the special team side and, like we talked about earlier, eliminate the turnovers and the penalties.
And if you go back to the kick return for a touchdown, it was a squib kick, which we do. I mean, that's what we do. And it was bobbled by the return man. It took him a second, and actually I think it ended up helping him in the end. It kind of allowed some things to open up in front of him, and he had somewhere to run. And what happened, too, is that the Colby defense gets too far down the field because of it.
They just overran the play.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody you had to worry about dodging. Just straight ahead, straight to the end zone.
Sure. So and that's what happened. I mean, it's a lot of timing in this sport, and sometimes when timing gets messed up, it's good. And most of the time it's not.
Right.
But it worked out well.
Yeah, they're just being alert and knowing where the ball's at and playing your responsibilities and staying in your lanes.
Yeah. You can't... and that's the other thing. When you see somebody bobble the football, you see it bouncing around a little bit, you forget about that. Hey, it's loose. I got to go get this guy. And then when he picks it up, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was an interesting first half of football. It wasn't poorly played by Colby, just some really unfortunate things that didn't go in their favor. Again, they're due to errors, but there are things that can be taken care of in the second half. We did have massive downpours there for several minutes in this ball game, a good 10, 15 minutes. It's rained on and off outside of that tonight, and it looks like it's let up again now. There's going to be another hole in this weather coming through in Norton, but looks like there is another line building that's going to be coming through. We'll probably have a good 30, 45 minutes before we're going to see some of that. And so we want to take advantage of it pretty quickly here in the second half, because really it was as hard as it was raining. I mean, it was extremely hard for both teams to hang on to the football. It was really difficult to try to catch one.
And that's one of those things where both teams are going to face the same adverse, weather conditions or field conditions. Jerseys are wet, hands are wet. Grass is wet. It's a little slick out there. So
I talked to Coach about it in the pregame today. I said, is there anything you're going to do differently? He goes, our field was so wet and soaked all week long in practice. He goes, it wasn't raining on us, but he goes, it was plenty wet. We had to deal with this all week in practice.
And they didn't even have to turn the sprinklers on to get acclimated to the conditions and everything.
Not at all.
But so, yeah, it'll be an interesting second half, and I guess that's the bright thing that Colby has coming out this third quarter. And, they've done a lot of things right, eliminate the mistakes there that they did the first half on special teams, and hopefully we can come back and make this a closer ball game than what it is.
We'll take a break, come back, and have our keys to the second half after this word from our sponsors. You're listening to Eagles on Radio and Colby Football on 100.3 The Iron.
We're just saying here's what's going on at Norton schools for the next week or so. We're kind of losing. Tomorrow, October 7th, junior high volleyball travels to Trigo. Tournament begins at 9 o'clock. Excuse me, high school volleyball travels here to Scott City for a 9 o'clock tournament. On Monday, October the 9th, FFA Greenhouse Conference at Stockton at 3. High school JV football at Colby at 5:30. Of course, there's a USC Board of Education meeting at 7:30. On Tuesday, October 10th, there's a 3rd and 4th grade local program at the East Campus Auditorium at 7 o'clock. On Wednesday, October 11th, I believe there's no school for teacher training. On Thursday, October the 12th, high school volleyball goes to Trigo as the NCL tournament begins. That starts at 3 p.m. High school cross country goes to the meet at Downs Lakeside. That begins at 4 p.m. Junior high football has their last game at Colby at 5:30. On Friday the 13th, high school varsity football is at Russell as district play begins. That game at 7 p.m. And on Saturday the 14th, high school volleyball, the NCL tournament continues at Trigo beginning at 9 a.m.
Chad Jones alongside Jeff Quinzer tonight. The Eagles down at the half, 28-6. And Coach, we get set for the second half of play. Just a couple of keys for Colby on both sides of the football. Outside, I guess, of the obvious of taking the football and putting it in your hands and squeezing it very tightly, hanging on to it.
I think, first thing is Colby's got to come out defensively and get a defensive stop here to start the third quarter and get the ball back and maintain field position. We talked a little bit about that the first quarter there. Colby had real good field position for a majority of that first quarter, and I think that's going to be key coming out here. Second half is, do a good job of covering the kickoff and keep Norton deep in their own territory and get the ball on offense and play with a short field and get an offensive score and pick up a little bit of momentum going into the second half.
No big plays. Except for us. Except for us. All right, we'll take one more quick timeout. Second half coming up next year on 100.3 The Ride. Hey, how long is this one? How long is this one? This ad's almost over. Okay. Let's go 30. Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, he just doesn't have the kids to throw to right now.
He doesn't have the kids to throw to like he did in the past.
Which is all right. I mean, he's the
Get it done now.
Welcome back. It's not raining in Norton at the moment. But we've had it all night long tonight. Big second half of football upcoming here for Colby. And again, the Eagles trying to get a little momentum going against the Norton Blue Jays.
You know, one thing about it is it's not terribly cold out. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's not terribly cold.
59
it's
degrees.
A little wet. Yeah. So being a little wet makes it feel colder than what it actually is. But
the good news for all of you listening is we're inside and not being rained on, so you don't have to worry about Jeff and I. We're fine. We're warm and dry, and
no lightning, and we're on ground level.
So for those of you worried about our health, that's okay. We're good. Second half upcoming. This is going to be an interesting half of football. One of those, I think, we're just looking to, you can't score 28 points on a play. So it's one of those, let's get out here and take
just a little bit at a time, chip and whittle away at it, and just stay fundamental and do the small things, and Colby will be all right. It's always interesting to see teams, how they come out the second half, whether you're down or whether you're up, what adjustments are made, and then, how well are those adjustments executed on the field.
Connor Griffin kicking it away for Colby. Another squib, bouncing, picked up about the 28-yard line, and this time the Eagles take care of business right away. Nice stop by Colby, and that was
Sean Raw on the stop there. Got it out to about the 37-yard lines where Colby will bring the defense out on the field and see if they can put together a 3-and-out.
Now, the coach has talked to us that the biggest possession of a game is the first possession of the second half, whether you're on offense or defense. It sets the tone for the end of the ball game, and so always want to get out of the gates to start the second half. Right now we're waiting on a football, I believe.
Don't have very many to choose from. I wouldn't think they'd be trying to decide which one's the driest because I think they're all wet.
I'm sure somebody's responsibility was to put them under the hand dryer in the locker room at halftime and get them cool, dried as much as you can. Here we go, second half of football. We're ready for it. Jace Reuter will be out of the shotgun with two receivers to the right and one back, and Petrie in the backfield with him, and he will hand it off to Petrie on the right side, and Petrie will go nowhere. Now, there's a late flag that has just come in on this play, though.
Nice job by Sean Raw from his left defensive end position to trip up Petrie. Flag on the far side of the field. Looks like we've got holding against Norton.
There you go. We'll take that for sure right out of the gates to start the second half. Good play, first of all, by the defense. Took care of business, no gain, contained the edge, and then the penalty, again, assessed. That tackle won't count, but you still take that as a fact that, hey, we're ready to go.
That's one of those things where, once again, that penalty is allowing Colby to start establishing some field position that I think is going to be critical here as we get started here in the third quarter.
And let's face it, the defense is rested.
They haven't played a whole lot.
Only ran about 10 offensive plays in the entire game tonight, the way things have worked, because they've scored on these special team ones and then a couple big ones. Blue Jays out of the shotgun, two receivers right, and a penalty.
I think we've got procedure on the right guard there. He was getting in a hurry to pull and come around to this left side. So, once again, is Colby going to be able to take advantage of these early penalties that Norton's committing here to start off the second half?
So Blue Jays will get another player from sideline, and Coach Melvin's not the happiest of campers with his crew to start the second half. Same formation. They have one receiver split, wide out to the left side, and Ryan Johnson. Reuter to pass. First down, wings it over the middle and looking for Melvin, and thrown behind him, incomplete.
Hard on the coverage there of Melvin, and once again the Colby defensive front, 4 or 5 there, putting pressure on Reuter to get rid of the ball.
Second down and 25 to go now for the Blue Jays. Thing was thrown on a rope, though, I'm telling you.
Reuter throws a nice ball for sure.
Two receivers right, one to the left. Committed to North Carolina as Reuter for next year. This time a crossing pattern, a slant, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for Ryan Johnson. Good coverage by Colby again.
Griffin and Stapp on the coverage there for Colby. Ryan just running a slant into the middle, and Griffin from his corner and Stapp from his safety position converging on that low throw.
Griffin taking over a corner from Metcalf, who's out with an injury, and we're not going to see Metcalf again on the season, so he's got some big shoes to fill there, and he played well last week, and he's done very well tonight. Reuter going to hand it off up the middle this time, and this is a huge run. It's going to be maybe 6 points for Petrie. Colby was thinking pass on that one. They hand it off to Petrie, and Petrie going to take it to the end zone. Man,
all they did was just run a little counter draw play off the left-hand side, and Norton did a nice job of blocking that. And Petrie's got enough speed that he was able to outrun the secondary of Colby for that long touchdown run.
Comes at 10:52 to go in the third quarter. A 78-yard touchdown run by Petrie on 3rd and 25. And now they'll get set for the extra point opportunity. They've been good, we think, on most of them tonight. The first one, they initially said it was wide, it was no good, and then they changed the call later on and gave them the point, which is kind of unusual. This one right through the middle, no doubt about it. Extra point is good, 35-6. Norton on top.
35, equals 6.
Just one of those things where that's not the way Colby wanted to start this third quarter, but it's over with. You got to regroup, come out, and get your offense going, and put together a drive and try to get some points back up on the board again.
Listen, you're just looking at momentum right now. Just get something positive to happen. You want to be able to leave here tonight. You know,
well, it's kind of one of those things where it just seemed like, and that's something we didn't talk about there. Start the second half was it just seemed like Colby came out and was pretty flat. No enthusiasm, no fire, nothing. And a lot of times that has a lot to do with how well you come out and not only start a ball game but start the second half.
So Rudy will get set to kick it away here from midfield. I'm telling you, if the quarterback thing didn't work out, he might be all right as a kicker.
He's one of the better high school kickers I've seen this year.
I know, he booms them. He doesn't handle their extra point opportunities, but he does do the kickoff. He's not the soccer style. He's the old school, straight at the middle. This is a shorter kick out at about the 10-yard line, and Stapp's going to return it out to the 30, and that is where the Eagles will take over first and down. And this is that spot of the field where there was grass when we started today, but there's not anymore.
And that's one of the ones where you see the players as they step, the shoes sink a little bit deeper into that mud out there.
And really where it affects you is on your cuts. And Coach talked about that a little bit in the pregame and making sure you're cutting off that outside foot. You should do it anyway, but you especially have to do it when the field conditions are not good. Eagles get set, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Snaps a little bit off the mark, but Hart's able to get to it and make the handoff on the left side to Stapp. And Stapp spins away from defenders and is drugged down finally after he gets across the 35 to the 37-yard line with a good run of 6 or 7 yards here on first down. We'll give him 7 with the spot.
Just a little counter trap play back to the right side. Stapp did a nice job of getting behind the offensive lineman. I think it was Kyler Britt pulling from his left guard, left tackle position to lead up in there and kicked out the defensive end of Norton, and Stapp did a nice job of reading that block.
Mason Wright, our secret weapon tonight. He's threw out wide to the left side, 2 receivers to the right. Hart gets the snap. Turns inside handoff, snap, and he was hit immediately. Very good job by the middle linebacker and Trenton Shishma.
That inside linebacker for Norton did a nice job of shooting the gap and got penetration in the Colby offensive line and was able to meet Stapp for about a 2 or 3 yard loss there in the backfield of Colby.
Yep, 3rd and 5 now. Trenton Shishma out. It's kind of an old school defense for Norton. It's a 5-2. You don't see that very often anymore. Everybody's running a 4-man front for the most part.
It's one of those things where it doesn't really matter what defense you run, and if you're a solid defensive team, that 5-2 is a good defense. Able to stop the run as well as the pass.
It doesn't stop it this time though. Stapp out of the backfield, and man, he was forced called down the sideline. That could have almost been a penalty. And he does have the first down as he picks up 10 yards on the play.
Nice little flat pass play there. Stapp did a nice job of running to the Colby sideline and looking over his left shoulder and bringing the ball in, catching it and tucking it, and then turning it, getting it upfield.
Nice ball by Hart on the play as well. He's throwing the ball well.
considering the conditions that the ball is in, as well as the field. That's one of those things. A lot of times people don't understand that in order for a quarterback to throw a good ball, you've got to have good footing, and sometimes I'm sure it's slick out there.
Here's a handoff on a read option play, well defended by Norton. That's the one thing you can tell they've really keyed on headed into the game tonight was that read option. And they've done a very good job defending it. That's no gain this time by Colby, but Hart was covered as well on the play.
And that's one thing that 5-2 defense leads to. You've got 7 guys in the box to stop the run, whereas, running those 4-man fronts, a lot of times you've got 6 or less in the box to stop the run.
And you just don't see a lot of this anymore. This was,
this is what everybody ran 30, 40 years ago.
Yep.
That and the 6-1, 6-2.
Eagles with another fumble here, trying to get the handoff on and again, the snap it looked like was a little bit high to the left for Hart that time, and by the time he got it pulled in, the timing was off between him and the back, and that caused the fall. And that's one of those sometimes as a quarterback, you just tuck it.
Yeah. Tuck it and get as much as you can and try to alleviate from turning the ball over, but Stapp did a nice job of recovering the own fumble and getting on it and still maintaining possession. Colby calls a timeout here.
Yeah, Coach McKinney wants to have a chat with his troops. We'll take the timeout with him back in 60 seconds with more Colby football 100.3 The Ride.
Let's run. I need to get out the inside. Yeah, I mean, left running the inside. Going off tackle. Oh, and a quick slant or something.
Quarterback drops back to pass, and Colin Ocker drops in. The 4th down.
Well, under the timeout, the Eagles getting ready to run a little screen pass, trying to get it out to Stapp, and good job by the defensive front for Norton. Got through there a little bit quicker than Colby wanted them to, and no time to get the pass away. Ocker on the stop, and the Eagles are forced to punt here, 4th and 11, and this is scary time right now. Beautiful snap. Good punt. We're underway here. Last one by Xavier. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. And one thing it looked like they did there, Coach, is it looked like Slavens took a little bit, didn't take the full 13-yard drop there. It went about 8 yards.
That's why I noticed that earlier, the punt before there in the first half that looked like he had, got a little bit closer to the long snapper, which probably helped a little bit. But then once again, you're getting closer to the defense and put a little bit more pressure on your defense or offensive lineman to protect the punter.
We've got another band of rain here that's about to move into the area. So,
like the PA guy said, anytime.
Anytime. It's probably about 5-10 minutes away yet, but we're going to see more rain before this is over with. Reuter gets the snap, throws over the middle as his tight end, who had gotten behind the defense of Colby that time at the pass a little bit too high. Really a catchable football, though, that time for Jonah Reuter, and I'm sure Big Brother's going to have a talk with him tonight about that one.
Well, that was one of those things where if you were to put the blame on somebody, I'd almost say it was the quarterback.
Sure.
He should have put a little bit more air under it and let the receiver run underneath it instead of, putting the zip on the ball, take a little bit off of it, and but whatnot. Nice defensive play there by Colby.
2nd down and 10 to go. Reuter with an I formation behind him. He's going to hand it off. No, fakes it to the second back through, rolling to his right. Reuter being pressured by Slavens, who loses his footing, and now Reuter going to run. Jumps over one defender for Colby and is drugged to the ground immediately at about the 42-yard line. A gain of 4 yards, or excuse me, gain of about 5 yards on 2nd down, and the penalty flag is down. And I think this is against Norton. I think there's actually a rule about jumping over. Yeah, in high school football. I don't think you can do that like you see in the NFL and in college.
Nice job there by Slavens by putting pressure on Reuter, trying to run a play-action
I tell you,
sweet play.
If he didn't lose his footing, he gets him.
Right.
I mean, he's there. But again, he as athletic as that play is, you can't do it. It's a hurdling play on Norton. So again, that comes back. It's impressive to watch. It's
one of those things that's in place for safety.
For safety of the players in high school. So it kind of, and I know it's got to be frustrating for Jace too, because it's one of those. Hey, I made a good play. I got extra yards for my team by doing it, and
it's kind of interesting though to see what the call is, because the call almost looks like it's. The way the official indicated was an unsportsmanlike.
It is. It's unsportsmanlike, but it's and then the kicked out the hurdling afterward. So it's It's one of those. This is definitely in our favor, but it's one of those I don't necessarily. He made a play, man. Gonna have that go for him. Reuter back to pass, being pressured again now. Rolls to his right side. Colby's still on Reuter. He looks a little fake. He wants to run it. The Eagles are going to get there and close, and they're going to drag Reuter down for a short gain on the play out to the 25-yard line.
Nice job by the Colby defensive secondary. We've talked a lot, about how well the defensive front has played, throughout the game and throughout the year. But that play there, Reuter didn't pick up very many yards, but that was a defensive secondary sack or a nice job on the defensive secondary of Colby by covering the Norton receivers up.
They had to cover for a long time. Reuter was a little shaken up on that, by the way. Got up a little gingerly. Giving 5 on the play. It's third down and about 16. Reuter rolling to his right side. Here comes pressure from the backside by the Eagles. Now from the other side, Reuter trying to get to the sideline, just drills one intended for a receiver on the left side, incomplete. And this will bring up fourth down.
Once again, Rawl and Slavin's putting the heat on Reuter as he was rolling to his right.
And Reuter took another shot there as he was trying to throw it. And that's just, really he hasn't had a lot of opportunity tonight in there. And Reuter talking to the official trying to say that was a low hit at the knees, which, by the way, is not illegal. And I think the official kind of told him that there is not. They hit him while it's where you got to hit a guy like him. Because he'll run you over or run by you.
Or try to run over hurdle you.
Yeah. I think he learned his lesson there. Probably a pretty good one by Reuter. It's going to bounce and roll down to the, guess where, 30-yard line. That's where Colby will start the drive as they had about the last 6 drives. The Eagles will get set again.
Once again, start there where the field's worn down a little bit.
Colby's moved the ball on that first possession. They had offensively. A couple of first downs. Looked okay. But again, you got to take care of the football, and you got to keep away from penalties here in this second half.
What Colby's had success throughout the whole game is just attacking the flats on those short pass routes. Has been pretty successful for Colby. It's when they have those long developing plays in which Norton's able to get penetration in the offensive line are the plays that Colby struggled with.
The Eagles will send basketball in motion from right to left. Snap a little bit high. Handoff is clean, though, and a nice running room on the left side by Stapp. Stapp gets around the corner and is going to be dragged out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. And that's a 14-yard gain and a first down for Colby, and late flags coming in again.
Nice job there by Mason Wright from his wide receiver position on the Colby sideline. Come in and sealed that cornerback off for Stapp to get on the outside, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, we can't see what happened here because it was over there. They're going to call hold on Colby, and this is not going to be. The Colby fans were extremely furious about something that happened there on the sideline. At the end of that play, you could hear them yelling over there. They didn't like a hit or something. That's not what this flag is, though. This is holding against Colby. Now, it happened about 7 yards down the field, 7 or 8 yards. But
was it holding or was it blocking the back? It almost looked like it was blocking the back.
Yeah, we'll see here. You're right. Yeah, it happened on the far end of the field from us and right on that Colby sideline. It's good.
It's like about the 35-yard line, so they'll be.
Yeah.
Marking off 10 yards, moving the ball back to about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so we're looking at first down and 13 yards to go. Costly one because, again, that was a first down run by Stapp and a pretty good one. He almost broke it. 2 receivers bunched to each side of the field, so twins on each side. One back behind Hart, who's back to throw. So good protection for the most part tonight. Completes it to Stapp here and again, but Calvin breaking tackles, dancing around, getting away from Norton defenders, and is finally stopped at about the 30-yard line. That's a gain of about 4, but it was a beautiful 4 yards because it should have been a loss on the play, but Stapp fighting his way away from defenders.
Yeah, he caught the ball, and I think there was 4 missed tackles by the time he caught the ball and when he got his 4 yards. So nice job of determination and leg drive of Stapp.
He goes back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to go the same formation here. Again, those twins stacked on each side of the field. This time they'll have motion out of it, though, to the right side. Hart going to run the option to the left. Pitches to Stapp. Stapp with a nice cut back up the middle. Dives forward with a nice gain here on second down. It's going to bring up 3rd and short, and that's a very good cutback by Calvin Stapp.
Once again, nice job of attacking the line of scrimmage by the quarterback, Hart. Attacked that defensive end and made a nice pitch to Stapp, but Norton did a nice job of bringing 2 guys up and forcing Stapp inside. Stapp was able to cut inside and picked up about 5 or 6 yards on the play.
And really, this is the same formation, although they've spread the receivers out. They're still bunched of twins on both sides. Slant pattern, they look for Stapp across the middle on the slant. He makes the catch and then is drugged down at the 45-yard line.
Stapp's just the slot receiver on the right side, just running a quick slant, and Hart did a nice job of leading him and getting the ball in there, and Stapp made a nice catch and picked up a few extra yards after he caught it. And
pretty good throw, too, by Stapp that time. It was a tight window with the linebacker coming across.
Good throw there by Hart. Brought the ball out to about the 45-yard line.
First said Stapp. I meant Hart on the throw.
That's why I had to correct you there.
I appreciate that. I need it a lot. 2 receivers left, 1 right. It was Hart on the snap, going to hand it off on the inside, and not much on this one. Norton all over this running play as they're stopping for no gain, and that's Stanley on the carry.
Colby once again trying to run a little counter play, and Norton's doing a nice job of getting penetration there on the offensive line front.
The Eagles have had success on that option play on that left side. They've been picking on Christian Hawks, a freshman who's getting the start tonight in place of the injured Hayden Wilfong, and the Eagles have had some success on that to that side of the field. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Same formation we saw in the last play. Hard to pass this time. Has protection, fires deep down the middle looking for Rosales, and Reuter just goes over the top of Rosales and intercepts the ball. Good tackle, though, down the field by Colby at the 20. And it looked like maybe there was some confusion there because you had 2 receivers for Colby in the same area, which allowed the defense with Reuter out of that free safety spot to make a much easier play when he can defend both of them.
That's exactly what happened, is both receivers were probably within 6-7 yards of each other, and the ball was up in the air. As soon as the ball was up in the air, the 2 defensive backs were able to converge on the ball, and one of them was short underneath the receiver, and Reuter was over the top and was able to pick up the interception there.
Yeah, you got a guy back playing free safety. If you get 2 receivers in the same area, he doesn't have to cover as much field as he would if you're spread out. Here's the handoff up the middle, this time by Petrie. Again, stopped immediately. The defensive front for Colby's done well on those all night long. Norton's, they struggle. They'll struggle on the first, and then all of a sudden they'll just break a big 80-yard play, and that's been the difference tonight. And that's kind of been that the front line of the defense has been very good. It's that second unit against the run, that second level, I guess I should say, that's been struggling on the defensive side.
Nice job there by Kyler Britt making the stop there, but it looks like we have a illegal procedure call against Norton. So once again, Colby's going to get a break.
Norton's
maybe not.
Here we go. Norton's been they've been hurting themselves in the second half with their penalties for sure.
And it's always on the wrong end of the field for Norton, as far as the penalties happening inside the 30-yard line.
Reuter out of the shotgun, 1 back in the backfield with him, 2 left, 1 right on the receivers. Reuter to throw, looks over the middle and completes it to his tight end, who was drugged down immediately by Hart. That's a gain of about 10 on the play. It'll give him 11, but they'll still bring up second down and 4 after the penalty on the previous play. And that one brought in by Jonah Reuter, his younger brother.
Nice job there of Hart coming from the safety position up to make the play on the receiver Reuter for Norton.
Now we have an official timeout here. We got an equipment situation here on the left tackle for the Norton Blue Jays, who's ready to go now and call a knocker. Reuter out of the shotgun, quick pass out into the flats on the right side. Catch is made immediately by Ryan Johnson. He doesn't go much further as Rosales there on the coverage, but it is a gain of about 6 and a first down.
Johnson just running a quick out there, just deep enough to get the first down. Nice ball thrown by Reuter, and like you said, Rosales is there to make the tackle after the reception.
Blue Jays, again, 2 receivers right and left. Reuter with Petrie in the backfield with it. Colby with the 4-man rush. And Norton with just that quick slant. And this is where they're starting to have success. That one caught by Melvin. The ball was loose, and Colby fell on it.
Looks like they're saying he was down.
They're going to say he was down.
That's what
I think they need to discuss it here a little bit because it looked like it popped out a little early.
Looks like it was just enough for the 1st and 10 for Norton. Norton's starting to have some success with that inside receiver going about 10 yards down and curling up there.
Well, Coach, if you look at it, everything's quick now. When we were back throwing early in the ball game, it was more long. They were going long up,
throwing up underneath the secondary.
Taking that away. Colby showing blitz this time. They'll back out of it, though, and Reuter's going to try to hand it off inside, but whistles on a penalty flag before the ball is snapped. And this is going to be another one against Norton, I believe. Yep.
I think what Norton's recognizing is what Colby's doing is the way they're covering this is they're covering the wide receivers, the wideouts that are outside the numbers with the corners up tight, and then they're leaving their safeties 10 to 15 yards deep off the number 2 receivers, which is allowing the number 2 receivers to, run those 10-yard curls and slants in and, throwing them underneath the safeties and over the top of the linebackers.
2 receivers to each side. Reuter out of the shotgun on 1st and 15 after the penalty. Ball on the Norton 39-yard line. Handoff's going to go to Petrie up the middle, and he was drugged down by Rawl immediately on the play. Gain of maybe 2. 2nd down and 12.
Rawl and Slavin's in on the stop there for Colby. Looks like Colby's making an adjustment to what I was just talking about earlier about the number 2 receivers on both sides. They're rolling that safety up on the weak side a little bit closer, tighter on that number 2 receiver, and moving an outside linebacker on the receiver on the strong side.
Again, the Eagles playing very short-handed here tonight. We'll talk about it in a second again. And I'll tell you where everybody's sitting here defensively is it's a different look on both sides of the ball. Handoff up the middle, and Petrie is brought down, and that is a tremendous solo open field tackle that time by Colby and
Parker Hamo,
yeah. And he is
another one of those good defensive linemen for Colby that have helped that front 4, front 5 of Colby do a nice job throughout the season.
3rd and 11. But again, the Eagles without both middle linebackers and a corner in this game defensively. And the middle linebackers, I mean, that's a key to this defense. Here's the snap, Reuter. Again, a quick slant. Again, it's caught, but it's well short of the first down. Melvin pulls it in, but it's going to bring up 4th and 5, shy of midfield.
And those 2 linebackers that are stepping in for Branham and Shippers are Corey Finley and Blaze Verbus, and we haven't called their names very
as well,
and haven't called their name much tonight, but they're playing behind a good defensive front, and so you can kind of protect them with your experienced defensive lineman there.
The Eagles are getting ready for a punt, but I was like, the offense is still on the field here for Norton. They're going to go for it on 4th and a long 5 on just shy of midfield, but they took too long to get the play in, and now Coach Melvin's going to take a timeout to discuss it here and avoid the penalty. I'm a little surprised that he, with a 30, what is it now?
29-point lead,
35-6, that he's
even considering going for it. Play the field position, and Norton's defense is playing well enough that they should be able to hold Colby, pin him deep in their territory.
And Coach Melvin, we'll see what he does after the timeout here. He spent a long time on the sideline trying to decide what he wanted to do and then sent the offense out. But, again, spent too much time on the sideline. About 6 seconds left when they were coming out of the huddle. So, took the timeout to avoid a penalty. 4th and 6. And here's the other thing you got to look at. Even if they're in punt formation, their punter's Reuter. So, you're not getting a... you got to keep an eye on him anyway. But they're not punting. This is the offense. Two receivers left, one to the right. Reuter in the shotgun, Petrie in the backfield with him, 4th and 6. And it's a read option play. Reuter keeps it himself, and he goes nowhere. Great job by Slavens making the open field stop. Had some help coming up as well. Good play by the Eagles.
Another nice defensive stop there by Colby. And, really this whole ball game, other than two big plays the defense has given up, defensively, Colby has not played a bad ball game.
No, they've been,
considering the players that are on the sideline because of injuries.
For sure. All right, let's see what the Eagles can do. They're going to start this drive on midfield, right on midfield. Hart to pass, looking deep. And he is caught by Rosales, and he'll be drugged down at the 21-yard line. Penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Nice job there by Rosales to go up and get it against the experienced senior Reuter from his free safety position. But like you said, it looks like we've got a penalty, and it's probably going to go against the Eagles.
Hart squatting down here back at the 35, and he is frustrated. That was a big play. That's it's against Norton. Personal foul against Norton. Yeah, so this actually goes, the play goes, and you get the penalty afterward, which is going to end up being half the distance to the goal.
Not for sure if that was, they're going to decline it, so that's must have to.
Okay, yeah, to make the choice on that one, yeah.
PA guy said holding, so I'm not sure if it was holding or a personal foul.
He looked like he indicated personal foul, so yeah.
But irregardless, it's a positive play for Colby, and they're able to get the ball down about on the 21-yard line here and getting closer to hopefully being able to punch it in for a score here.
And now we got a whistle and a stoppage here for the officials. I'm not sure what they're wondering here. And I think the Colby coach maybe had a question about the penalty on that, because if it is a personal foul, it should be tacked on to the end of the play. And that's the explanation he's wanting from the white hat. And so that discussion's happened as the rain's starting to come down again here in Norton. It's not pouring yet, but it's coming down. And now the white hat's going to come over and talk to Coach Lucas Melvin of the Norton Blue Jays and give him the explanation. And we're ready for play. So they won't move the ball any further. Baskel in motion for Colby from right to left. Hard out of the pistol, gets the snap. Hand off to Stapp up the middle. Calvin spinning his way forward for a couple of yards. 2nd and 8 to go.
Once again, just trying to run a little counter play up the middle with Stapp, and not a whole lot there for Stapp. Gets across the 20, picks up a couple yards on the play.
2nd down and 8 to go. Eagles in their visiting white uniforms with black numbering and orange trim. They're at the black pants. Now the jerseys were white when we started.
They're not as bad as I thought they would be, considering how much rain and how the field conditions are getting to be.
For sure. Here's an option play, and it's loose, and Norton has it. Well, kind of a late pitch that time by Hart. He was under duress, and it was a little bit low, and Stapp couldn't pull it in, and Stapp gets up hobbled on the play. He's limping, headed back here.
And that's one of those things where Norton's getting that option play figured out and getting the responsibilities down and able to put a hit on the quarterback and have people there on the pitch back as well. And so that play wasn't as successful as what Colby's been able to run it.
Stapp and Hart both of them were hobbled on the play, and they have both come out of the ball game. Stapp is stayed in now, but Hart is pulled out and replaced in the lineup here by Thane Wilderman. And here's a run by Norton on the right side. They're going to get about 4 yards by Petrie. You can tell when a new player comes on. They're not as dirty as we thought they'd be, but when it's white. Now Wilderman's been on. He made a nice special teams play earlier in the ball game on a tackle, but that brings us to the end of the third quarter. After the Eagle turnover, Norton will have 2nd down when we come back, leading 35-6. Fourth quarter coming up next year on 100.3 The Ride. Well, that thing kind of dissipated when it got here. All the yellow's out of it.
We still going to get some, though?
Yeah, it's raining now.
Thank you, sir. Please win with the Blue Jays. Second down and a long 5.
Norton with the football out of the quarter break. Blue Jays are going to run the read option play, and Reuter's going to keep it himself. He gets a nice stiff arm to get away from the first defender of Colby, then drug out of bounds. He'll be shy of the first down, but it'll bring up 3rd and short for Norton.
Rosales did a nice job from his corner position coming up and forcing Reuter out of bounds for the short gain. Like you said, brings up 3rd and about 4.
Rain coming down again here in Norton, not pouring right now, but coming down pretty steady. And it should last for another 10 minutes or so, and then we should be clear of the rest of the night. We had heavy, heavy downpours in the first half of this game. So, 3rd down, about 3 to go for the Blue Jays. Norton with 1 receiver to each side. Under center this time. Penalty flag flies as the carry by Petrie on the right side is enough for the first down. He gets about 5 yards, but I think this is coming back.
I think we're going to have a hold on the play. Norton try to run a counter play back to the right side with Petrie, pulling the left guard and tackle. But like you said, chop block against Norton.
That's 15.
That's 15. So
yeah.
Once again, Colby this second half really hadn't been hurt by the penalties. It's been Norton that's been killing themselves on the penalties here in the second half.
Good news, too, is Hart is back in the ball game for Colby. He's a tough kid, I'm telling you. He's taking some shots in this game tonight.
And out of all the jerseys, I think his is probably the dirtiest.
Yeah, for sure.
Checking his arm out there, seeing how much mud he's got on there and how many scrapes and bruises he's got.
Yeah. And this is the point of the season. I mean, you're going to – there's not a kid on this field that doesn't have a bump or bruise somewhere, that he's dealing with.
And that's one of those things. It's a fine line. You got to play with a lot of those bumps and bruises, but yet – once again, the injuries that the guys that weren't able to play are injuries that you definitely need to set them out and do what's best for the athlete for sure.
And sometimes it's against their wishes a little bit. I know Jordan wanted to go tonight pretty badly, but Coach said sometimes it's tough when you got to break the kid's heart and said it's not in the interest of the team or you as an individual. And there's some good in that too. That's a kid that's a competitor. He wants to play and wants to get out there and help his team, but again, not to take anything away from this football game because you want to do the best you can in it, but on the other side, they have another penalty afterwards?
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct on the sideline.
Okay.
So Norton's doing whatever they can to help Colby move the ball closer to their end zone, so it looks like it's 3rd and close to 25 with the ball sitting about, the 6-yard line?
Yeah, and they need to get it out to just about 31. So, right at 25 yards. Blue Jays will go under center, and they will hand it off up the middle and just try to get some space to punt the football. Gain of about 4, and it's going to bring up 4th down and long, and Reuter will get set to punt it away. Like we're talking about, the game next week is so much more important in district play when it's kind of, really in this district, it's almost do or die every week. And if you do lose next week, you have to win the next 2, and you have to win them convincingly.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those things where when you're a tough district, you got to show up ready to play, and part of that is trying to be as healthy as you can be.
Snap is low. Reuter gets it on the first stop, and it's nearly blocked. Good job by Slavens getting back there. And then the punt, fair catch made, and it wasn't fair catch, but Rosales pulls it in. His knee was down, so he's down there. I tell you what, Slavens almost got revenge there.
He almost did. He almost got on Reuter and did a nice job of avoiding roughing the punter. They ever put pressure on Reuter to make him get rid of that punt quick, and Rosales did a nice job of securing the ball, even though he did go to his knees. And Colby's, going to get this possession here with the ball on the Norton 42-yard line.
I feel sorry for every groundskeeper in Northwest Kansas this week that keeps up these fields.
Except for the ones that didn't have a game at home.
That's right.
Like Colby's field should be looking good here in a couple weeks when they get a play at home.
Eagles with 3 receivers to the left side. Hart back to pass, has time, launches it down the right sideline, underthrown a little bit, and a good play made for the ball by both Melvin of the Norton Blue Jays, and then the Eagle receiver there, which was Rosales, coming back for that one. Incomplete, though, and it'll bring up second down.
Hart just throwing to the one receiver side there with Rosales running down the Colby sideline. And like you said, both Melvin and Rosales did a nice job of going up at the ball, and nice clean play there.
Rosales had a catch earlier in the game, a jump ball with Reuter, and was able to pull it down and make a good play. 2nd and 10 to go for Colby off the incompletion. That ball was maybe underthrown by about a yard, or Rosales might have been able to have a clean catch at it. It's hard to throw in this rain, I'm telling you. Coming down pretty good again here in Norton. The Eagles, again, looking to the sideline on the pass. Stapp was out there, and that's incomplete.
I wonder if that was a little bit of miscommunication as well as, probably a little sign of the ball getting even wetter and more hard to handle. And, another thing as far as run the routes and whatnot, the receivers aren't able to run those nice, crisp routes like they normally would on a dry field, which, in some aspects gives the defender a little bit more of an advantage because he's not having to worry about the sharp cuts.
And it does affect the timing, too, with the quarterback. Eagles with 1 receiver to each side of the field, 3rd down and 10 to go. Stapp in motion from right to left out of the slot. Hart gets the snap, looking right side. We saw this play earlier, and it's open. And he threads the needle between 2 defenders, but it's dropped. The ball was in the hands of Rosales that time, and I say dropped, and you have to credit the defense for Norton because he was dropped. Right as the football got there, Rosales took a huge hit, legal hit, and the ball was knocked out of there.
Once again, Norton, they're able to, play that free safety and Jace Reuter over the top and, under coverage with Melvin, and then Reuter's able to go over the top. So basically they're throwing into double coverage.
I'll say this, though. That ball was perfect right in between the 2 defenders, too, as well. It was well thrown.
It was a well-thrown ball.
All right, 4th and 10 for Colby now. Stapp in motion to the left, 1 to 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. Hart looking right across the middle. It's intercepted, and there's some kind of miscommunication. Again, we have 2 receivers basically in the same spot.
And once again, Colby had 3 receivers on this side and 2 defenders, and I'm not for sure exactly what the route combination was, but you would think that 3 receivers on 2 defenders, you'd have a mismatch there, and you'd be able to get the completion. But like you said, Norton ends up with 1 interception.
1 receiver down the sideline, and then 2 running the slant, but again, they're kind of in the same area. And it looked like there was, he was throwing to a spot there, and the receiver wasn't there. So Norton takes over on the pick, and let's give credit to Tevin Petrie on the pick, and then he'll get the carry this time, and we will credit him for a loss of 4. Good job by the defense.
Nice job there by Parker Hamel, meeting Petrie behind the line of scrimmage and dropping him for about a 3-yard loss there. And that's one of those things back on that offensive possession of Colby. I believe what they were trying to do is trying to keep Reuter honest and not letting him drift over and double cover Rosales on the 1 receiver side and trying to attack the middle of the field where Reuter is supposed to occupy and stay in the middle of the field.
Rain coming down pretty good again here. 2nd down and 12 to go for the Blue Jays, and Reuter's pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Good job by
number 54 there for Colby.
Actually, I think it was 60 they got a hand on there.
60
with Slavens there for his defensive
Slavens and Verbus.
Batting that bad boy down, incompletion. 3rd down and 12. And that's a good job. That's again in the defensive end spot. If you're blocked, you can't get up the field, and you got to watch that quarterback and time the jump. And it was well done. 3rd and 12. Reuter looks left, now goes to the right on a little out pattern. What a hit! by Colby, closing there on the outside, and that was Rosales. Yeah, can fly in there.
Rosales has been doing a good job tonight playing his cornerback position. Read that well and didn't sell to the fake that Reuter had. You know, he faked to the right like he was going to throw it right, hoping that backside corner would have rolled over the top. But instead, Rosales stayed home and was able to come back and make the play.
9:10 to go in the game, 35-6 the score. Favor of Norton. Blue Jays to punt. Snap is low, and barely getting it away was Reuter, but it's a good kick. Stapp's going to make the catch at the 42-yard line. He's across midfield and down to the 46 of the Blue Jays. Nice return by Calvin Stapp.
Once again, Slavens did a nice job again putting pressure on Reuter, and like you said, Stapp made a nice catch there on that punt. And the nice thing about that was he kind of set his own return up. He took 2 or 3 steps hard to the outside like he was going to try to get outside, let the defense over pursue, then he was able to cut it back up and was able to pick up 7 or 8 yards on the return.
Stapp and Rosales to the right side, 2 receivers to the left for Colby. Pistol formation now for Hart with 1 back behind him. Hart looking, left side, fires it down the field, and it is incomplete. Yeah, there's some pushing there on the play. No penalty flag thrown by the official, but that could have been a pass interference on the play.
Looked like Colby was trying to run Parker right with the out and up, and like you said, the ball was a little bit underthrown there.
You know, one thing we haven't really mentioned, but we have not seen Carter Stanley in a long time in this game. Jaron Rush is in there right now for the Eagles. So I wonder if Rush, the freshman, in there. I wonder if Stanley maybe wasn't banged up earlier in the ball game tonight.
And we haven't seen him on the defensive side of the ball either. So that's one of those things where you hope it's not a bad deal. Hopefully it's just a preventive thing, and try to keep him healthy for next week.
Here's the snap, and penalty flags or whistles are going to fly before it. I don't know. We had a timeout called by Colby. It was right at the last second. They actually did get the snap off, but Coach was not wanting the penalty there and got the timeout just before that. We'll take it with him back in 60 seconds and more football here on 100.3 The Ride.
Yeah. I haven't seen Carter on the sideline over there.
I
didn't. Now that you said that, I didn't notice that.
I just picked up on that last possession. I was looking, I was like, God, he hasn't been in there. And then when I saw a freshman in the game, I was like, something's.
Has he played any of the second half?
I don't think he has. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I don't see him. He had a good first half, too.
Oh, yeah. I was impressed with what he did.
Marks passing behind right. 3rd and 10.
The Eagles quickly out of the timeout. They run a quick slant on the outside looking for Mason Wright. It was thrown a little behind him. Mason with a good effort trying to get to it but couldn't pull it in. So we have 3rd and 10 now for Colby. 2 receivers to each side of the field. Hard out of the pistol, gets the snap, turns, hands it off to Stapp. Stapp hit immediately, and he's going to be brought down for a loss by on the play. Good defense that time by the Blue Jays. Warren Ray makes the stop.
Colby's just trying to run another counter trap play to the right side with Stapp. Ball on that left tackle, Kyler Britt pulling around there, and backside penetration was made there by the defensive lineman. Colby dropped Stapp for about a 2-yard loss there.
Goodland leading Ulysses 36-0. That game in the 4th quarter tonight. 4th down and 11 to go. Hart looking right side, throws, has a man. The catch is made and a first down. Good job by Rosales making the catch and then realizing he was short and getting forward at the last second to pick up the yardage before being knocked out of bounds.
Nice route there run by Rosales. He ran an out route, and he was able to run the route a little bit further than what he needed. Then he came back to the ball and realized that he still had to pick up another yard and was able to catch it, tuck it, and turn it up and just get past the first down marker.
Rain is picking up again here, and on radar it's building again here, so this may stick around here for the rest of this football game. It's coming down pretty good, but not pouring necessarily as much as it was in the first half. 1st and 10 to go after the reception. Colby with Hart on the slant, and that was literally 4 defenders there, and he gets it into Stab, but he couldn't pull it in.
Just a little play action there to the running back. I think that was Baskell. And like you said, he threw it in there, and I think it surprised Stapp that the ball was thrown to him and hit him in the hands and shoulder pads and bounced off, and Colby's lucky that Norton didn't pick that off.
And kind of landed right between the 4. It's really like one of those baseball plays where it's a pop-up and the fielders all come into it and look at each other, you know. We'll take it. Incomplete pass. 1st and 10 to go. 2nd down and 10 to go, I should say, after the incompletion. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right for Colby, 2 to the right for Colby. They're going to have Stapp in motion from right to left. So we'll end up with trips left, 1 right. Baskell along the backfield makes a nice block. Hart looking to throw. That one might have been tipped as it came out of his hands, and it ends up out of bounds. Incomplete.
I think it was one of those things where Hart was getting pressured, and it almost looked like it was a lateral, and if it was a lateral, the ball should be placed where the ball went out of bounds, but it looks like they're ruling it an incomplete forward pass.
The catch was actually made on the sideline by Alex Ocker, the sophomore.
And he got a little bit of a cheer, too.
Yeah. Hey, anytime a lineman catches, I don't care if it's out of bounds. It's a good thing. 3rd down and 10 to go. Colby looking for a play here on offense. He was very short-handed tonight. Shippers out. Branham out. Metcalf out. All with injury. His handoff's going to go up the middle, so it's kind of been the Calvin Stapp, Zach Carter Stanley show here tonight, although Carter Stanley has not played here in the second half, so must have been banged up in the first half. Hopefully nothing too bad where it's going to cost him time in the future, but we'll find out. Eagles set here on 4th down after they gained 3 on 3rd. Hard to pass. Looking right side, looking for Metcalf, and overthrew him. A little bit of contact there with Melvin, but no flag down, and Norton's going to take over on downs here at the Eagle 35-yard line.
Large pass goes incomplete. Jake Melvin on the defense there. The Blue Jays take over on downs. 1st and 10 at their own 35, 33, I beg your pardon.
So we've got 1st and 10 to go for the Blue Jays. And Ruder again out with the troops. Catches the snap, and it's a quick pass out into the flats. Catch made immediately by the receiver Carter Jones, who's brought down by Colby. A good job by Griffin on the stop. You know, he hasn't. This youngster again getting his first start tonight. Did play last week due to injury, but he's done a pretty good job in the place of Metcalf tonight. There's some pretty good shoes to fill. He was our best covered corner.
Came up and did a nice job of making a nice secure tackle on the Norton receiver.
2nd and 2 to go after the 8-yard gain on 1st down. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right for the Blue Jays, tied into the left side with the back and Petrie to the right. Ruder out of the shotgun. Handoff's going to go to Petrie, and he's trying to get the yardage on the left side. He's going to get it done, but barely. Hit in the backfield and able to finish forward on enough for the 2-yard gain of the 1st down.
Looked like one of the inside linebackers, Finley, along with looks like Baskell in on the stop there from their linebacker positions.
Then you got Baskell and Verbis starting tonight in place of Branham and Shippers. That's pretty big shoes to fill at middle linebacker. They've done a good job, though. Really, the defense has not been that bad tonight. The score is not indicative of the defensive play. Ruder with a quick pass to Melvin on the left side, and Melvin breaking the first tackle. He's stepped out of bounds here at about the 33-yard line. And now Baskell gets up, hobbling a little bit here for Colby.
Norton did a nice job of getting the ball out. Quick pass to the wide out down the Norton sideline, and Colby defense pursued, but Norton was able to pick up a nice chunk of yardage there.
And Baskell really hobbling around here. for Colby.
Not sure if he got tangled up in the play there along the sideline or not.
He'll stay in the game for this one. And Norton going to hand it off to Petrie, and he is brought down immediately. Great tackle by Colby. I tell you what, one thing they have done today is Petrie. You're talking about him coming into the ball game. 95 carries, 683 yards rushing on the season. He averages 7 yards per carry, 137 yards per game. And we've shut him down tonight.
Yeah, nice job there by Haim.
Outside of the 78-yard run in.
Yeah.
But the rest of them have been pretty good.
But a lot of those runs have been outside the tackles that they've had the success. So once again, crediting that defensive front four of stopping things inside the tackle.
Two receivers right, one to the left. Handoff goes left side, and a new back in the ball game. This is Tucker Fonensteel on the carry, and he loses a yard. We'll bring up 2nd and 11.
Nice job there by Rawl and company on the defensive front to make the stop for a loss.
5:09 to go in the ball game. 3rd and 11 here for the Norton Blue Jays. They lead this one 35-6 over Colby tonight. Then Norton scoring 21 points with special teams tonight. The Eagles have had 2 drives inside the 10 that they did not score on. Rooter the pass. He is under duress, scrambling to his right side, dumps it off, trying to get it to Melvin, who's covered well by Hart. Incomplete, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 11 for Norton, deep in Colby territory.
Nice job there by Rawl and Hamel, and Verba's putting the pressure on Rooter to get rid of the ball along the Norton sideline.
And the Blue Jays appear to have brought their punting unit onto the field here. Again, they're at the Colby 35-yard line, but with a big lead now, they're going to go for it. Running several new players, and look like they ran in a new line. 4th down and along 11 to go. Rooter gets a snap, and it's a counter play to Petrie. Good play call, and Petrie around the left side. He's going to get the 1st down as he takes it down to about the 21-yard line.
Nice job there by Rosales of playing off the block of the wide receiver there. Didn't lose containment, was able to run Petrie out of bounds, but not until after he'd picked up just barely enough yards for that 1st down.
That's a pretty good play call there on 4th down. A great play fake on the right side. Had the defense all going there to the left side.
A little counter play where they were faking it to the right and then pulled the backside guard and tackle, and a little delay handoff to Petrie along that left side.
They broke the huddle there with 12 players. Petrie just got to the sideline. No flying down. Handoff's going to go up the middle. No, Rooter keeps it himself, and he is going to be hit about 3 times and knocked out of bounds eventually for a loss on the play. But, yeah, Petrie was in the huddle that time, and they broke the huddle, and then he ran off the field. And that should have been a penalty. But we'll take the 5-yard loss and a loss of down. 2nd down and 14 to go here.
Looks like Norton's running in some of their JV players now.
We did the 2nd down at 13.
1 receiver left, 2 receivers right for Norton. Rooter out of the shotgun formation again. The back is Fonensteel. Rooter to pass, though, rolling right. Throws it in the right corner, and it's knocked away and almost intercepted by the Eagles. And that's a tremendous play there by Zach Hart.
Nice job by Zach by reading the ball. He had a lot of time to react to it. The ball was in the air for quite a while, and he's able to react to that, break over to the receiver, and Zach did a nice job of knocking it down.
Yeah, tipped it away first, and then made a diving effort to try to pick it, but couldn't quite pull it in. So incomplete pass, 3rd down, and 13 to go. Blue Jays will have trips to the right and 1 receiver to the left. Rooted out of the shotgun, 1 back in the backfield with him. Gets the snap, back to pass. There was not a lot of pressure on this one. They had some extra defensive backs in there. That ends up incomplete. And
Not sure,
4th down.
Not sure who he was going to. He overthrew the closest receiver and underthrew the deep receiver. So nice job there by Colby by pass coverage.
So it brings up 4th down and about 14 now. Again, they ran that big counter play out of this on the last possession. Blue Jays will get set to go again. Luke Wallmeyer in there, tailback. Reuter to pass. Here comes the pressure late from Colby. Reuter running. Running to his right side. Wants to throw. Has a man in Melvin who makes the catch, but he is short of the first down by a couple of yards. There is a penalty flag down on the far sideline on the field. Near the Colby sideline, which means somebody was probably in the neutral zone. We'll see.
Talking to the Colby captain, Sean Rawl, there, so I would assume it's probably on Norton.
Yep.
Colby's probably going to decline. Looks like it's going to be procedure against Norton.
All right.
Penalty decline. And Eagles take over on downs.
So 1st and 10 to go for Colby, and they will start on their own 11-yard line. Yeah, we call it 15-yard line, or it'll start this one. 3:48 to go in the ball game. Eagles with a couple of timeouts remaining. Yeah, 1 timeout remaining. And this is where let's get a positive drive here.
Eagles have 1st and 10 at their own.
Colby will send Mason Wright wide to the left side. While the slot with Rosales to the left. And the handoff going to go to Stapp. Tries to cut it back. And turns nothing into something on the plays. He picks up a couple of yards.
Just a little dive play off the left side of the Colby offensive line. Norton once again doing a nice job of attacking playing to the point of attack and limiting the yardage to about 1 yard.
So 2nd down and 9. Eagles set again. 1 receiver to each side, slot backs to each side, and we're going to have motion across the formation from left to right by Rush. Handoff's going to go to Stapp on a cutback, and Calvin with a big hole. He's going to pick up a 1st down and more as he gets it out across the 25 to the 27.
Nice run there by Stapp off the right side of the Colby offensive line. Just a off-tackle dive play, and Stapp once again does what he's really good at, and that's just kind of reading his blocks and not going full speed, just being patient and picking and choosing and being able to accelerate when he needs to accelerate to pick up the yardage that he needs.
Right to the left side, same formation here. Hart will send Basco in motion from left to right. And this is a quarterback keeper by Hart, and he is hit. The ball comes loose, and we'll see here. Colby has it. Hart was able to get back on top of it.
Looks like Basco recovered the loose ball, just running a quarterback counter play where they pulled the backside guard and tackle, and Hart got up in the hole there and lost a handle on the ball, and a little fight for it, and Basco was able to come up with it and maintain possession for Colby.
So the Eagles will get it back here. The rain continues to fall on Norton. 2nd down, 15 to go for Colby. 3 receivers to the left side. Hart with that screen pass, able to get rid of it somehow to Stapp, who makes the catch. Stapp breaks tackle, spins. He's still on his feet. He hasn't gone down. He was sitting on top of the Norton defender. He had not touched the ground, and then he pops up and goes for about a couple of more. That's a great effort by Calvin Stapp, and he's going to pick up pretty good yardage on this one. He's going to get about 12. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 2 to go for Colby.
Great effort by Stapp there. Also, Hart, set in there, and threw the ball as he was getting hit, and Stapp made a nice catch, and then nice effort on the run after he caught it.
3rd down and 2 to go for Colby. Clock running, 1:23 to go in the ball game. Eagles with Hart out of the pistol, 1 back behind him, and Stapp. Basco in motion from right to left. Hart gets the snap, hands it off. This is Stapp again on the carry, and Calvin's going to get forward for a 1st down. Did a good job of holding on to the ball. You can see the Norton player trying to strip it out of there.
He did. Nice little counter play back to the left side. Stapp did a nice job of getting behind his lineman there, and was able to find a crease and was able to pick up the 3 yards or 4 to pick up the 1st and 10 for Colby.
Goodland wins tonight over Ulysses, 42-6, the final score of that game in Goodland tonight. Ulysses 0-6 start to the season. You have to go back a long time to find the last time they did that. Here's a bad snap. Hart able to get on it quickly for Colby, a loss of a yard on the play. That one just never came out of the center's hand that time, just kind of rolled it back about a yard or so.
Once again, I'm sure that ball, even the officials even having a hard time trying to pick the ball up. It's so wet and slippery.
Yeah, just mud. I mean, they're in that middle of the field. It's just chewed up here in between the hash marks. 27 seconds to go in the ball game. The Eagles second down and 11 to go. Hart gets the snap. Firing deep down the right side. You can see it kind of slip as it came out of his hands, and Rosales goes up and tries to pull it in and can't. That'll bring up a third down here for Colby.
Once again, kind of hard to throw a wet ball and a little bit underthrown, but Rosales did a nice job of making an effort to make the catch.
Third and 11. Time for maybe 2 more plays here tonight as we're down to under 15 seconds to go in the game. Eagles will run that bunch formation, twins to each side. Baskell now goes in motion to the right. Hart gets the snap, hands it off up the middle, rush on the carry. The youngster's going to pick up 2 yards here for Colby, and the Eagles not going to use their timeout. They're going to let the clock expire. 35-6 the final score. The Norton Blue Jays get the win tonight over Colby in an interesting football game here tonight. We'll talk about it in just a minute. We'll take a quick break. Come back and run through the scoring and highlights of this one after a word from our sponsors. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio and Colby Football at 100.3 The Ride.